What is up, beautiful people? He didn't say Clover, he said you're over. Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. That right there, Fabian, is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif, and we're gonna wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream.
Or come on, Clover.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, slow clap. Well, fast clap. Ponzi, Fonzie, Jack, C, Dub. We got Lou Parent, Mateus Lane, Brandon Townsend. We got Damn Yo to you as well. We got Ronaldo 1320 Wolf, Mahash Mahat. We got Scott H. What's up, Scott H, my man? Shout out to you. Benson, Jonathan Stewart. TH, Julia, hola to you as well. Like and subscribe today. Simon TG, it's not an option. Nvidia, buy the pop, question mark. We'll get to that in a second. We got Fiddlebeck, we got Aaron and Joanna Brewster, Day Trader Cut, Fat Figure. What's up, my man? Solo Crystal and Cairo, Courtney Blake, and why not? A whole lot of other people. I hope I didn't miss too many. Good morning, Adair.
Good morning. How are you this fine Wednesday?
Okay. I like how you set that up. I am well, keeping my eye on these markets. Apple, obviously, doing major things. We'll get to all that in a second, but you did have a trade that I know you are proud of, and another one that you're in right now. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I have been scalping our pal Nvidia. Here, basically, what I've been doing is this 120. Oh.
Okay, I'll take over for a sec while Adair fixes her mic. Let's look at the small cap gappers du jour, because there's not as many as yesterday, but there are still a few holdovers. GRDI. This one is like the family member who just won't leave and ends up staying at your house a long time. No, in a good way, seriously though. This one, multi-day runner, really got going last week. Another new local high today for GRDI. It's at a critical point. I would submit to you right now, the volume weighted average price. In addition, there are these key areas of technical support just a smidge below where we are at that 260 level. That was the pre-market high at 8 a.m. there. So I'm keeping my eye on GRDI, obviously off those 329 touch, but dancing with the volume weighted average price right now. We'll keep an eye on this one. This one closed sub 2 yesterday, about $1.98. So couldn't really make it to $2. OPTX though, big boy winner on the day, up 200% at the highs more. It danced with 900 right at around 645. You know, this one is a bit of a bamboozler because, you know, one of my rules about these small cap gappers is to not take them long unless they break the pre-market high. So this one's gonna have to weasel its way up to 890 or so, about $9 before I get involved. WENA, another triple digit winner today, 144%. Just got itself back above the volume weighted average price, but I would submit to you that this is not a VWAP play. This is a support and a resistance style play. That 350 level looked awfully good. That was the pre-market high, dipped into there not that long ago at around 945, held that level, and then it's making highs again. Keep an eye on that 450. It's a bit of an elusive target, topping tail candle there, and couldn't break it initially on the first attempt. Rivian goes without saying why I've got that monster on there. It's you know, a bit of a sell the news kind of event, but we'll see what kind of day it gets in or move it has in the coming days. LTBR, not a big boy winner like some of the other ones I talked about. 25% in the green right now, having trouble holding above 4 right at that volume weighted average price area. This one is playable, tradable currently. We'll see if it can stay above VWAP. Last but certainly not least, DAKT. Another good one here. Volume a little bit on this one, so be careful, but the chart pattern looks awfully good. Having trouble with 14 right now. Keep your eye on that, Adair.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank, sorry about that, guys. My microphone had a moment. Thank you so much to Ramin and Fabian for taking care of that and helping me out with that. Nvidia. I am pleased as punch. Thank you for giving me the intro for that. So this 125, I was saying this to Sharif earlier today too. I was watching what we did at this 125 on the book just as I was getting my chart set up this morning. And I said to myself, if we break below 125, I would, if I was trading this, I only trade during the midday, right? Obviously, this is also in the pre-market. I said, this would be my area to go short if we broke below 125. Then we bounced out. I think Sean had a dollar club within seconds there, right? So I said, obviously, that wasn't the play. But one thing that Neil has said in his lesson of the day that I've really stuck with, I've really tried to keep in mind is even if you don't trade a stock, think about how would you trade it? How would you take the trade? So that was really helpful for me. Then I come and I sit down and I see this 125 hit. And I say to myself, Derek, if we break below 125, you have to take the short. I wanted to get involved right at 125 versus into 125.30. It was like a dare that might be a little bit too overzealous. Wait, I ended up being able to get 122.85, or sorry, 124.85, so just chase a little bit. It's all good. Scalped out for about 25 pennies. I was pleased as punch. Sharif saw I was like pushing back my chair and having a moment. Then I got back in the short because I wanted to see what we did at 124. We bounced and then exactly the same level as 125. The second we get below 124 and we can't get back up, taking it short. Took 50 pennies exactly with half this position. Took the rest out here around 70, so took about 25 and then 50 pennies. Pleased as punch. Yeah, now we're seeing lower highs on the book in Nvidia. I think some scalps may be in order.
Bang.
Thank you.
Nice trades, Adara. Yes, get that. All right, let's start the lesson of the day. We're talking about average true range all week. I misspoke today. I said we were going to look at profit taking for ATR, but my brain's a little, right? And we did that yesterday. So today we're talking about stop loss placement using ATR. So traders, let's face it, stop loss orders can feel like the enemy sometimes, getting us out of good positions. But what if you could transform them into a helpful buddy? Today we'll see how average true range, ATR for short, can be your stop loss buddy. And I use those air quotes purposefully because that term comes up in the lesson. Placing informed exits and managing risk effectively. So let's get right to it. So the stop loss struggle, I'll tell you, I've been afflicted by this struggle many a times. Placing a stop loss order is crucial for risk management. We all know that as day traders, but how close or how far should it be? Too tight and you get shaken out by normal price fluctuations, and too loose and you risk bigger losses, the dichotomies. All right, so the ATR to the rescue to fix this problem. The ATR, your intraday volatility meter, comes to the rescue. Here's how to use it for smarter stop loss placement. First and foremost, you have to understand the ATR. Remember, ATR reflects the market's typical, or the instrument's typical daily price movement. A higher ATR suggests a volatile instrument. A lower ATR indicates a calmer one, okay? So first of all, you gotta know where does my instrument fall? I'm trading Nvidia. Everybody knows Nvidia is gonna have a higher ATR. I'm trading Tesla. Everybody knows Tesla's gonna have a higher ATR. If you traded Apple a few months ago, it would have had a lower ATR. Hence the term the dead one, right? So you have to understand, first and foremost, the instrument that you're trading, its characteristics. That's step number one. Step number two, the stop loss buddy formula. Here's how it is. Very much a derivative of yesterday's formula that we use for profit taking. You're gonna multiply your average true range by a factor, a multiplier, whatever you wanna call it, okay? And the multiplier is the trick here. It's gonna have to do, number one, with the market conditions in which you're currently trading, and two, your own trading style. Do you like to hold for the bigger moves, or are you okay taking smaller scalps? The multiplier has a lot to do with that. So you're gonna multiply the average true range by a factor, 1, 2, half, whatever it is, based on your risk tolerance, and add or subtract your entry price, a set of stop loss. Very simple formula for that. So your long position is gonna be your entry price minus the ATR multiplied by the factor. We know we do bed mass first, we do brackets before we do addition and subtraction. So you're gonna multiply your average true range by your factor, and then you're gonna subtract that, the product of that, from the price. Same thing with the short, but in the opposite, okay? Your entry price plus the ATR multiplied by your factor. Super simple formula, and you can probably just, get really automatic with it. It is, right? So example, here it is. So imagine you buy a stock at 20 bucks, all right? The ATR for that stock is $2. That's what you see on the chart. It's $2 ATR. So you choose a factor of 1 for a moderate stop loss, right? You're not gonna get too aggressive. You don't wanna be too conservative, so you use a factor of 1. So your long position is essentially gonna be $20 minus, right, the ATR, which is $2, multiplied by a factor of 1, which we know is 2. So it's 20 minus 2, which is 18. Super simple. So you should be wetting your beak, or you're putting your stop at that $18 area. All right? This is your stop loss price. If the price falls to 18 bucks, your order automatically sells to limit your loss. And volatility always matters in these cases, right? So now let's say you buy another stock at 40 bucks this time, but the ATR is only 1. Remember, you bought last time for 20, the ATR was 2. In this case, you're buying for 40 bucks, but the ATR is 1. So we do the exact same thing here. 1 ATR multiplied by a factor of 1 for moderate risk, that gives you 39. So your stop has to go $1 below where your entry is. So 40 bucks is your entry, your stop is going in at 39. Very simple formula to implement, a lot more difficult to actually do in real life. Sorry, an easy formula to articulate, harder to implement. That's what I meant. So the benefits of average true range as a guide for your stop. Number 1, it sets a realistic buffer. The stop loss considers normal market fluctuations within the expected daily range, preventing you from getting shaken out by temporary price movements. And it's also adaptable. The protection here of your stop is quite adaptable. The stop loss adjusts to different market volatility levels, offering tighter protection in volatile markets and looser stops in calmer markets. And it offers you peace of mind as well, knowing that you have a well-defined exit strategy. You're not, making decisions last minute once the price drops down into your entry or a little bit below. Your strategy is based on data, which can help reduce some anxiety and help you stick to your trading plan. And remember, guys, as we mentioned yesterday, ATR is a historical measure, not a guarantee. It is a lagging indicator, not leading. And you should also consider other factors like support and resistance and try to use ATR with fundamental analysis and technical analysis for a more wholesome picture there.
Yeah, so there's just a move down in the market here. Fabian was just asking if you're seeing anything on this. I'm not seeing anything on that, unfortunately, with regards to this move down. It is worth noting we do have the 5-year note auction coming up at 1 p.m. Not yet. The Nvidia shareholder meeting, that's going to be coming up at 12. So I'm going to be able to see if we can get into that. They will not let anyone in until 15 minutes. It looks like you might need a control number. I'm going to try to get in regardless. Try to take some more scalps in Nvidia. Fortunately, now I'm red on the name, but that does not mean it has to be permanent. We're going to keep going, and I stand by both these trades. This first one was actually really frustrating. So I took the short, 123.50, realized it might be, we might have a change in the tides here, as Sharif would say. So I tried to scalp it out, 44s. We bounced right back up. We got above 70s, which is going to be my area, so I had to get out. Then this second short, I got involved. Again, I kept seeing lower highs in the book. I said, we'll take 70s. Once I realized we might not be able to get more than 60s, I was ready to get out. And then Nvidia did not fill me. Ended up losing more than I wanted to a little bit there, unfortunately, with the speed at which that one moved. But you know what? Just got to keep going, got to keep pushing. I did have a successful short here on its cousin, AMD. Thank you very much, appreciate that. When it got the low of daybreak, the plan was to keep adding, but AMD would not let me add. Did not put that, the A in AMD does not stand for add. Let me put it that way. So I was ready to add and subtract. Didn't end up doing that. Got out at like 20s. We broke the low of day. I said, I'm pleased as punch. I'm going to keep my eye on Nvidia for some scalp plays. Tesla, I haven't really looked at much today, but we do have a very enticing level here. It's actually going to be in confluence with VWAP. That level is 192. This could be a long scalp for me here. Let's see what ends up shaking out on Tesla.
All right, as quickly as I sent it to you, as quickly as I took 30 pennies on Apple, right there, it dipped into the 10 exponential on the 5. And I had someone mention to me yesterday that they had no idea what I was talking about. And so I promise you, you will, because we're going to have these like little definitions that fly in on the bottom of the screen. Anytime I say, these technical words, you're going to be able to get a full picture of what I mean. But for now, what I say exponential on the 5, I'm talking about the exponential moving average. There are different types of moving averages, simple moving averages, exponential moving averages. Now you know that they are. You can Google search them and kind of get a bit of a better idea. And when I say the 5, I'm talking about the 5-minute chart. The moving averages have different levels depending on what time frame you're looking at. So I hope that helps. And I'll probably have to repeat that again, but that's no problem. So when I say 10 exponential, I'm talking about this green line here. And when I'm talking about the 5-minute chart, you can always look at the top left-hand corner of my charts to see what time frame I'm on. I'm sorry, it doesn't show them in the back. It should be better, but it's not. Anyway, so Apple has had an absolute love affair with the 10 exponential on the 5 since 9:55 a.m. There has not been, Fabian, any print lower, closing or otherwise, below the 10 exponential, saving except for this one right here at 1110. That's why I punched in right there at that time. It was the first time it gotten a little bit deep. And as you can see, it holds up there with a bottoming tail candle on its way possibly back into that 213.5. So we'll continue to basically take these trades that are, I don't want to call them reliable setups, but a little bit less risque than some of the other ones that you may be getting off different levels. So I'm going to keep my eye on Apple, obviously very strong, but so is the entire Mag 7, save and except for two goggles, which printed a new high of day yesterday. Or did it print a new one today? In the aftermarket, yes, so at 4 o'clock, it printed a higher. So it went to 140, 184.80. That is an all-time high. We didn't quite get there today in the pre or after the bell, 184.50 all-time high, or sorry, high on the day. So goggles taking a bit of a day off, and so is the monster Nvidia, about 2% in negatory land. I took a quick trade on this one. I'm going to show it to you. Adair took it short. I took it long. I think we both made money on this one. Here's why I got in. It was the same reason the Katina man was upset, because he liked that level. He was looking at that level. It was a triple bottom at that 124.50. It came in there, and I scalped about like 20 or 30 pennies. Nothing really to write home about, but I'm happy that I had eyes on the level. So we'll keep an eye out there. We'll now look at it. Personally, I'm going to be looking at 124.50 as a level of resistance. It's moving up, Katina Man, and I love it for you, 124, but I've got my eye on that 124.50, and as you can see by that animation right there, the Katina Man is in that dollar club, so shout out to him, Adair.
Yeah, I'm just studying Nvidia 124. 124 was a nice little resistance level. I was able to take that short earlier on this, so I want to see. We haven't gotten to 124 yet. I want to see a 124 rejection. Right now, we're kind of getting to this 123.95, and then we're running away like a scared deer. Now, Nvidia, I could short you 123.95, but I'm really not as comfortable with that. I was doing a lot of soul searching last night, as I often do. I think about the markets quite frequently, and I was like, why were the first 2 weeks of June very good and the last 2 weeks very meh for my trading? And I couldn't really come up with an answer, but I think I was just, you know, just living my best life a little bit those first 2 weeks, trying everything, and I was definitely more with the scalping. I was more, you know, with the confidence, the confidence. So I'm just trying to get back into that, seeing stuff I love, taking it with the viciousness. Like I said, I am actually red in Nvidia right now, but my mindset's never red. We're always green. We're ready to keep going. I had some good trades in this. The trades that didn't work out, I was just not fast enough. And you know what the thing is? You cannot trade, unfortunately, as fast as your brain thinks. Sometimes your fingers are slower.
So
the computers are slower.
So true.
That's the issue. If you're like 2 seconds away from a fill, which I was in both these cases, you cannot cry. You just got to keep going, keep finding new opportunities. Nvidia cannot get that 124. I am not punching short yet, because I know if it breaks above 124, it will not be a good time for me. But let's see what happens here. I'm really curious to see what we get. Tesla, I just put Nvidia in Tesla. Unfortunately, NVDA TSLA is not a ticker. Let's just put Tesla here. Tesla, I took that long off of VWAP. Please just punch with this. Scalped out half at 30s, which was, I'm going to be honest, a little bit of an arbitrary area. It was right below the 90 EMA. Then as we pushed higher towards the 90 EMA, got the rest out at 45. So really happy with that. I was going to risk into 80, so risking about, I think, 20 pennies, made up to 45. So please just punch with that trade. I see, though, lower highs, and I see topping tail candles. I am okay with shorting this into VWAP if I see a lot of confidence for that. If we keep failing 192.70s, that would be an area I would like, just scalping that 90 EMA failure. Much like some of those Nvidia trades and the AMD trade, I was willing to add as I scalped in and out, but I just never had the opportunity in Tesla. It was off like a little rocket, or off like the Roadster, 0 to 100, real quick. Shout out to Drake. Also CMG. CMG, Chipotle. I said earlier today, Chipotle could be a spicy one on the day, and in fact, it sort of is. Volume, of course, not bad at all. This is its first post-split day, 14.6 million shares. We are below VWAP right now. I do not want to hop into a trade on this. The spread is 8 pennies, which is not for my liking. I need to get a better sense of how the tape moves. I do have the book here on my side chart, so that's something I definitely want to see. But I mean, CMG, if you give me the opportunity to take that short off the VWAP projection, I'll have some of that guacamole.
You know what else is moving here? Another one from yesterday, another holdover, NXL. Wow. This one really started pumping here through that 2 3/4. I would have submitted to you that was a nice flat top bull flag continuation. There you get the nice pop at 9:30, a bit of a zig, a bit of a zag, an obvious top created at 2 3/4, and an obvious breakout of that top. There it goes, 303 HOD. This one still within Monday's high, 314 HOD on Monday. We put that in later in the day, I believe, at around, what time was that? Yeah, okay, so that was later, around 3:30 or so. Look, this one's been a multi-day runner. It hasn't been, one of those, I'm around for a good time, not a long time. This bad boy has been gracing us with its presence since the 13th of June when it got off that 62 penny, 70 penny tip and then got back into that $1 tradable world, I guess. And since that time, it's been putting in higher highs, higher lows. A bit of an off day yesterday, very consolidative was NXL. It did next to nothing, a little bit, I definitely would have said it was definitely an inside day yesterday because we were ensconced by the highs and the lows of the previous day. Anyway, we're breaking out through yesterday's top, but we're still within Monday's top. We have about 9 more pennies till we break that top. So keep your eye on NXL, 28% in the clear. Let me give you the deets. This one now is larger. I think when I mentioned this to one of you guys originally, it was like single-digit market cap. Now it's 21 to almost $22 million market cap. Shares on the day, 3 million. Decent, not great for a $2, $3 name. The float on the name is 5.7 million shares. And let's find out what the short float is. Shout out to Trade Ideas and the NOS boss over there. About 1% of that 5.7 million shares is shorted. So negligible, really. Nothing really that I would put too much emphasis on. Let's keep an eye on NXL as it does its $3 dance right now. A little bit above, a little bit below. This is not where it closed out. We need to readjust that. It closed out at 225 yesterday. So about 75 pennies ahead of that level at the moment. Let's flip back into the large cap world. It looks like Apple's still holding that 10 exponential, but most notably here, a lack of higher highs. Okay, so a bit of a breather, so to speak. Now, when we start seeing these lack of higher highs and a holding of the 10 exponential, I start suspecting that we're going to get a bit of a deeper retracement. And what I mean is I'm looking for something maybe into the 20 exponential on the 5. And the 20 exponential is hanging out at 212.75. So if we give way to that 10 exponential, I'm going to be obviously looking first at the whole dollar to see if 213 itself holds up, and then I'll be looking for a dip trade at 212.75 or wherever the 20 period is hanging out. I'm very cognizant of this top over here at 212.5, maybe 212.25, depending if you use the closing prints or the wicks, because that is kind of the IB high there. So if we come down to it, it'd be a lot better if VWAP was, say, at 212.33, 212.5, and the IB high right there. You get the double whammy, the IB high and the volume weighted average price, but you don't get to choose what you get. You just take what the market gives you. So we'll see if this one comes down there. Amazon printed all-time highs, well, an equaling all-time highs, 191.70. That was last month's all-time high as well, equaling that level, holding up at the 10 exponential as well, 190.50. A bit of a bull flag here and a range being established, 191.50 to the high side, 190.50 to the south side. That's been going on for the better part of 45 minutes. That started around 10:45. It's almost 11:30. So let's see if we can play this range here on the Zon, 190.50 to the south side, 191.50 to the high side of there.
Yeah, good times over here. Odyssey fights. There's no Fed speak that I am seeing at 12 p.m., but we do have the auction at 1. Thing we do have at 12 p.m., though, is Jensen and his pals over at NVDA and their shareholder meeting. So definitely be aware of that. We will be bringing that to you guys. I did have an NVIDIA trade I'll talk about in a second, but I got involved in AMD here. Why did I get involved in AMD here? I took that low of day short. This is something I really liked this look earlier, or previous low of day, sorry, because we made a new low of day since. And the reason I got involved is because I saw we were below that 157.20. That was an area I liked. That's also an area that we've had a couple topping tail candles at now. So I thought this could be worthy for a short. Now, because I looked at the book earlier too, I know what levels I like for my stop. If we break above that 157.40 with any kind of vigor, bye, bye, bye. I don't know what that was, but that's where I'll be leaving. I am going to be getting out of 60% of the position at 157.02s. AMD, oh, there we go. I was going to say AMD is being finicky about that, but we did get that print here. I would love to see, I don't want to say like a new low of day. That might not be possible, but if we can break into 75s, no, that is the low of day. If we can break into like 80s here, I'd be pleased as punch. I'm willing to add, if we come back slightly above 157 with no vigor, I will add to the position. I liked having these planned additions more as opportunities, depending on what I see in the book, because like I said, I've really been leaning into the book scalping and I've had lots of fun with that lifestyle. But let's see what we do here with this AM Dizzle, trying to push above 157, not with any vigor right now. We're going to let that one do its thing, 21. Nvidia, I took this short here. I saw what we did at 124, and I was like 124.25, because that was basically where the 90 MA was, but it was also that previous support here. If you go back to 915, so I thought that was an interesting look. I was willing to take a long if we bounced off 124.25. We didn't. I took it short here. 124.05s. Took about 20 pennies with half the position, 10 pennies with the rest. Again, just scalp plays. But let's see what we do here. We did get that break lower at AMD. And you know what? AMD, I am done here. I'll take my scalp. And AMD's like, well, yeah, maybe not. So I don't know if AMD's going to give me those 80s again. Let's see what we do here. If we stay below 157, I'm staying in this trade. Let's see us get lower. You know what? I don't really like what I'm seeing here. We're going to have 96s. Please as punch. You get what you get. You don't get upset. And you thank Jonathan Cook for the $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Much appreciated there. Maxon, 50% short. Ready for a squeeze? Let's take a look at MAXN. Not a name. I think I've heard of this, but it's not what I'm super familiar with here. MAXN, 1.7 million shares traded so far. That's 1.7 million volume. We are at 108. This could be maybe a little bit interesting. We had a bit of chop and churn here earlier. It was previously VWAP. We're below VWAP right now, though, on MAXN. And the volume since 950 has dwindled quite considerably. I'm going to find out the deets on this guy. Maxion Solar. Oh, it's a solar name. Now, Sharif says solar can be a little bit more news sensitive, and it has been a little bit weaker as of late. Insider owned 46%, so those are always interesting here for names like MAXN. 51% short float from what I'm seeing. Jonathan Cook totally right about that short float. Total float here of 30 million shares, so a bit of a smaller float for sure. Let's take a look here at MAXN daily chart. I mean, to be fair, I always want to clarify with things that are short squeezes, it's a little bit harder to look at it from a technical standpoint because, things are going to move how they move. We're definitely seeing something of a base here on this $1 level, which of course is great confluence. It's where it is in the base, and it's also $1. We love those $1 levels. But yeah, I mean, unless I think like something, kind of distinctly different. Shout out to Obi if we see a push above this 120 area here, push above the 90 MA. Right now, I'm seeing a few topping tail candles around support and what's generally been a pretty weak chart. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Jonathan Cook. Let's see if there's any other. Yeah, it's only super chat. I just want to make sure everyone has been seen there. But thank you very much, Jonathan Cook. Hopefully something's cooking here for Maxon and your sake. I think we're going to have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I tried to get filled there on NXL. I took that 275. I actually front ran it. I put 277 for that flat top defend. And it came in there. It came into 278. I'm like, come on. So right back up into 305. Keep your eye on NXL, guys. Very good defend at that 275 area. It touched exactly the 10 exponential on the 5 and then rocketed right back up. I'm going to cancel this order because I don't want to take it the second time around. I feel like it, we'll see if it comes back into that level. But right now, leaving that one behind. The other trade that I want to set up on is the range trade that I was talking about on Amazon. So I'm going to sit at that 191.50-ish area for a short, and I'll look to basically play the long as well, 190.50 for a long. So I'm going to go ahead and sit short on Amazon right now at 191, and we'll put 45s or something just to front run the size if it should make its way up there. I'm cognizant that it may not make that. It may not make the same high, right? Sometimes when it's playing a range, it drops a little bit as sellers become more exuberant and buyers become a bit more impatient, taking profits earlier. We'll see if we get there. Keeping an eye on that. Odyssey Flights was asking me about Tesla, which I love. I love today. Tesla looks fantastic. Great bull flag. and then a consolidation above VWAP. He was asking about 193, and I said I like the 192 long, multiple dips into the volume weighted average price, but I would submit to you it's not really VWAP because around over here, 955 and 10, we were bouncing off that 192, and VWAP was much lower at that time at 191 and a fifth. But the point is, we're getting dips off VWAP and or that 192 level. We're selling, though, into 193. It does break 193, and it has multiple times. It goes into the mid to high 193s. So you're going to have to be careful if you want to short off 193. I would think, you know, the better entry is a long at 192. It seems to be holding up a bit more strictly, whereas the top side of the range, a little zig, as you can see there by a 194.20 break. So I'm going to look to go long Tesla 192 in the way that I'll look to go short on Amazon 191.50 or long at 190.50. Those are the two range plays that are setting up for me, looking good. I'm also interested at high a day on MSFT. The reason is because it printed all-time highs. So, you know, we'll see if it can break through it as easily as that. But if we move up into 453.50, again, near that high, I'll watch to see if sellers step in there. I won't have a resting order or anything like that at that level. Finally, Apple breaking down below the 10 exponential on the 5. And this is what we were talking about. We wanted that deeper retracement. I'm going to first and foremost, I'll be looking at that 20 exponential, which on my chart right now is 212.85. If that doesn't hold, definitely going to be looking for that IB high VWAP touch. We'll have to see if they both conflate at the time. Right now, VWAP a skosh lower than the top of the IB high. So AAPL breaking down for the first time right now below the 10 exponential on the 5. Nothing else for me. You know, I'm watching Nvidia reject, and I'm kind of pleased about it because it needs a bit of a healthy pullback here. And that's it, really. Not trading Meta on the day. Goggles is dead weight, up 0.12. It's going to be between the ones I've mentioned and some of the small cap gappers. Wow, NXL, you punk. Look at this thing. Absolutely flies 75 pennies above where I want to get in. We're going to get in 277. Just printed 344 high of day. NXL is really going here, guys. 50% in the clear, and the volume is starting to pick up. Look at these two candles over here on the volume bar, both with more than 700,000 shares each. The volume really coming in here hot and heavy on NXL. Keep your eye on that one if you're into small cap gappers. Last but not least, before we send it back to Adara, DAKT, I mentioned this one is a nice one earlier. It is doing that that rounded top. So if it starts breaking down and it really gives up the ghost at the volume weighted average price, I'm going to see, number one, can we short this for free? Number two, if I can't, maybe the Katina Man or the Neil can hook me up with some shorts here. We'll have to see how much that one's going to cost me, though, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, I have some thoughts on Tesla. I really appreciate everything you said about Tesla. I don't want, I'm going to pontificate in Tesla in a little bit, but I want to space out the Tesla talk, so we're going to wait for a second. Also, yeah, poor NXL is a punk for not letting you involved. That is unfortunate. But hopefully NX lets you come back in at some point.
It's all good. It's no hard feelings.
That's good. It's good to know that there's no beef there. No. But yeah, so many small caps on the move for sure. This Apple, though, I was waiting to see a nice 213.20 rejection. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see if we reject 30s, because basically I want to shout out Adam DeLuce saying that Apple turning, and the second I saw that, I thought Apple turnover. But Apple is, in fact, turning over. Apple getting a little bit crisp here. But here's my thing. We could still have a bit of a range. We do have these lower highs, but we get to this 213.20, which has been a decent base recently, especially with this bottoming wick candle. That's why I'm not rushing into a short, though I do think Apple, at least for my scalpier purposes, could be a short at this 90 MA. This is not a name I trade frequently, but if there's something there, especially with it no longer being as much of a dead one as it's been in recent, I was going to say recent years, but recent months, I guess, then I think AAPL could get interesting. It's not one that I want to short for at least my purposes right away. Shout out to Freedom and Wealth. Check out that podcast. One thing that was said there is that, Sean and Brendan were talking about it on the third podcast episode, saying that people often perform the best when they've got their backs against the wall and nothing to lose. I've said this before. I think that's when I trade the best, is when I have that hunger, that fire, that, within me. So happy that today has been going very well with that, getting that mindset right there. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Adam Delusing. It wasn't him that said Apple is turning, but he agrees that Apple is turning. So I apologize for putting words in your mouth there, Adam Deluse. There's a lot of stuff happening in the chat. Now I will pontificate in Tesla. I think enough time has passed that we can talk about Tesla again. So as we were talking about Tesla, I was staring at Tesla 193. I was going to take a 193 scalp long. The reason I didn't was A, it did not let me in where I wanted to. And then I was like, you know what, I'm actually happy I wasn't let in there because the highest we were getting on the book at that time was 193.16. Now we're 193.18, so pushing a little bit higher here. But basically, we were struggling a little bit. Then we had this wick all the way down into 192.50s before bouncing. So yeah, this is, I think now it could be a long, but I think it's certainly, with Tesla, you always want to be patient. Do not collect pass go, do not collect $200, and do not charge your Cybertruck till you have all the signs, basically, is the thing with Tesla. I think Tesla, we call it stressful for a reason, right? So right now, you think we're pushing higher, but I think that breakdown here from that 193, I think we got to 192.80s that I saw in the book. Looks like we booked lower when I wasn't looking at it, but interesting look here. TSLA now trying to push higher. Ashraf said 194.20, 194.19 technically. So not quite 420 for Tesla. Was the high of day previously. We're about 75 pennies away from that now. That could be an interesting look. Nvidia bouncing beautifully here at this 122.70. Almost gets there. Weekdays is more like 123. I'm always looking at Nvidia. We're getting a little bit wedgy right now, so this is not something I will be taking on a chart basis. If I trade this, it will be I see something I like on the book. And as Ariana Grande says, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Let's see what Nvidia does, 123.50. We are looking like we're having a bit of a struggle. AMD pushing lower. What a fun day in these markets.
Yeah, not bad a day at all, especially if you are a holder of these Mag 7s, well, except for Nvidia, of course, which is having a bit of a tougher day, but I think a healthy pullback nonetheless. I don't really have any setups right now. I put a bit of a dip trade on Meta for that VWAP defend. It's making lower highs and lower lows. Decent day for Meta at the highs, but looking almost flat. I thought about going long at 510.60 right at the bottom of this, because this white line right here, this is yesterday's closing print. But I'm like, I don't know. I'll just put it at VWAP, the volume weighted average price. That's where we kind of had some topping till candles earlier into that 510 area. It's that nice round number. So I have a 510.25 long setup on Meta. Nothing really for me at the moment. Keeping the same look on both Amazon and on both Tesla. If they both come into my levels, I'll do exactly what I said before, but I'm waiting for those levels to come in, neither of which is in at the moment. So just packing my patience. Let's look at some of the small cap gappers. Looks like GRDI kept yapping about how this one was absolutely killing it on the day, breaking down now below the volume weighted average price and on its way down to 250. This is where the pre-market high took us, right into that 250 area. It's also the 50 exponential on the 5. So if we hold up here, I'll take a range trade between here and VWAP, but I won't take a breakout trade. So you'll have to, I'll size down a little bit for that trade. Keeping an eye on that. Obviously, keeping an eye on NXL. Neil was nice enough to check out how much those bad boys were going to cost me. Too much for my blood, so I'm going to pass on it. DAKT doing exactly what we thought it would do. That rounded top, it did break down below the volume weighted average price, but there was a seller right near that IB high at 13 bucks in front. They front ran it by a little bit, by about 10 pennies, because as low as it could get was 13.10, right back into 13 1/3 right now. I'm going to put DAKT on the side chart here, replace MOGL from yesterday, because I want to be able to see when this one either breaks or takes that VWAP level. Right now, a little bit above, a little bit below. WENA, this one's another triple-digit winner. This broke down as well. Lo and behold, it breaks down to that 3 1/3, and this is a mistake by me. I should have been more alive to that level. That was a pre-market high. It was also defended here between 9:45 to around 10. It just bounced off 3 1/3 right into 3 1/2. That could have been a nice little quick scalp trade. I didn't have eyes on that on WENA. Great day for this name, though. Really had the best move, though, for this name in the pre-market. It was a sell after the bell. Oh, I like that. It rhymes. A sell after the bell. But this one ain't selling, baby. NXL breaking through 405 HOD. That breaks all the levels that we've talked about, whether it was a level on the 24th or the 21st. It's well through all those highs. That was a 313 line in the sand. We'll look at that, $1 in the rear view, because we're now up 405. Now, where is the real resistance level? Wow, we are at all-time highs on NXL. Never been this high before. Yeah, well, it hasn't existed for that long, quite
That's
frankly.
fair.
Yeah, September 16th was the first day this one started trading. We are at all-time highs, though, after spending the majority of its life south of $1 in penny stock world. Nice week, month, year, and XL, yeah, because this one moved in March as well. So good for this one. We'll keep eyes on it. Let's flip back to some of the large caps, see if any of my levels came in. Whoa, Tesla. Okay, here we go. Right back into those highs. Got to keep my eye on that one, Adair.
I like how proud I was of NXL. I was like, oh, well, yeah, no, but yeah, shout out to NXL. Shout out to anyone trading the small caps. Also, yeah, shout out to Joanna Brewster. So she was the one who said Apple is turning. Yeah, Deb, I think I still see what you're saying. Like I said, you have these lower highs here. I think right now we're seeing that 213.20 is a base. But yeah, shout out to you, Joanna Brewster. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Darwin says the chat needs the name like the Playmakers or something. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that.
Hey, sorry, I missed that.
Darwin was saying the chat needs a name like the Playmakers or something. I kind of like that, yeah. Right now, though, I do kind of like this Apple lower highs. But like I said, this could even be a bull flag. I do not want to take a bite out of that apple until I have properly made sure, is it the type of apple I like to eat? Is it like a Macintosh? Because I don't want to have a Red Delicious or anything, right? So, we're going to have to wait. Is it a Granny Smith? Like, I just want to wait and see in this Apple trade. Weird analogies aside. Nvidia. I need to get back in this short.
Get it.
So, Nvidia, okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. So I got involved in Nvidia this short. I took, I think, like 10 pennies. This was a planned scalp because I was aware that if the second we did anything that I didn't like on the book, I was going to be getting out. I was really cognizant of that 123.30 level, especially we couldn't break below it while I was in the short. I said, Adair, take 33s and 37s, and because I took half of that in different places, and then just get out and be happy with that. Now, Nvidia still could bounce, but we are having a bit of a struggle here with the 90 MA, and specifically with that 123.70s. I would love to see that 23.50 form is a little bit more resistance. We're kind of seeing a resistance support flip-flop, which always makes me nervous. So I when I say flip-flop, I don't mean we're flipping from support to resistance. I mean we're flipping from support to resistance in like 2 minutes. And it's on, pretty small levels. But I do like these topping tail candles. I do not want to see us break above this 123.70s. That is absolutely going to be level I'm watching. No plans to add into this trade, mind you. If we break below 30s, you know that it's going to be a please this punch time for me. At this point, I will take out 123.34s. I'm good with that. I'm aware that this trade is definitely going to be here for a good time, and not a long time. Maybe not even a good time. But the point I'm trying to make is if you have confidence, if you like something, you owe it to yourself to take it. Like I said, I was having a great day in Nvidia, and then I actually ended up red on the name right now. I think I'm slightly green on the name. But the point is, I liked the trades, so you had to take the trades you liked. I'm out of Nvidia right now. Please just punch. Like I said, that 123.30, this is an area I'd watch in the book because for whatever reason, right now we just kind of broke it a little bit, but here we are right back up again. The support at 123.30 is bizarre. If you are a book or tape type person, be aware of that. Your Cybertruck is driving into the sunset. Yeah. So also, Y Brothers United saying, if you short Nvidia, I will go long just for fun, LOL. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. You do what you want to do. You do your thing, 21.
All right, bro.
I am pleased I took my little pennies there on NVDA, and I am still watching that 123.30 because there's something in the water there. And I'm like a shark. I want to smell it. I don't know what that was. How are you doing?
Panda was letting me know about Pandub right back into that high, that local high we were talking about. Let's talk about Pan. Oh, look, I'm not going to trade this because it's too expensive, but this is my second largest holding in my personal account. Go Pandub. 327.38. I'm not going to say where I'm long. This is what I was talking about, guys. This defend of this level over here, you have a bit of, 327 to 320. It's a $300 name, so you're going to have to give us a little bit of room, but this is an obvious level of resistance. It goes back to that earnings dump and the recovery from that earnings dump back in February. It comes back to that earnings miss that we had in late May and the attempt to break through there again, and we're right back at those levels again. Most notably, guys, though, we have higher lows. So this one, we'll have to wait and see how it does, obviously, but I think this one is primed for a top break. Again, not one that I typically trade on an intraday basis, but this is my second largest holding in the personal account. So I'm looking for a move into all-time highs, or at least a squeeze somewhere between that, let's call it a 330 top. Let's just give it that. 330 top to maybe 350, 360, in and around that area. PanW, though, intraday, up nicely here near high day 327.38. Retracing a little bit off that though, so be careful. What else we got over here? Let's flip back into some of the other positions that we have. Set up, we're not positions, but dip trades. So I've got that meta dip trade still set up at 510.25 for that VWAP defend. That hasn't come in. Let's look at AMZN. I'm still waiting at the top side of Amazon on that range. That hasn't come in either. So we'll keep eyes on that. Apple is back 15 pennies from high a day, so I guess I missed that dip into 213 and the 20 exponential. It didn't touch the 20 exponential though. What I was definitely wrong on though was Tesla. So I have to shout out Adara. She had a better read on Tesla than I did because this one absolutely broke 193 with a vengeance. For 193, what 193? 194 with a vengeance, and this one is on its way to 195. 194.75 HOD just got printed on TSLA, and it looks like it's really squeezing here. So sorry to Obi that this wasn't a few weeks ago. Maybe this one would have hit 200 before Apple did. But yeah, Tesla, great day today. Good bull flag continuation. Keep your eye out on this one. I don't know, man. I would say, you know, we could see 200 today, and I don't think I'd be out of line saying that because Tesla definitely can squeeze. I just don't know if we have the catalyst for it today. That's the thing. What the hell is the catalyst for Tesla?
Is
it Rivian? Is it just a Rivian hype? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I feel. Big day for Tesla at day's high right now.
Yeah, I mean, big day for Tesla. Nvidia, I want to clarify, so this short, this was like not the short of anyone's life, but I stood by it because like I said, if that 123.30 broke, I wanted every last bit of smoke, every last little wisp, every last little like, you know, piece of ash or firewood. I wanted all that smoke. So I decided this might not have been the play. Take it short at 123.30 because we kept kind of having those dances below it. And I said, Dare, if this thing breaks, it's going to break. It did not break. We had a little bit of a move below it. We got above 123.50s. I risked 20 pennies. I got out. Please just punch with how I managed it. Also, someone was saying, you know, we got to find some other phrases. I'm looking for some other phrases, but, you know, sometimes a phrase just summarizes how you feel. But also, if you were long Chipotle off VWAP, you were as happy as I don't know, as a person eating guacamole. Did not work. But look at this bounce here off the 64.40s. Great look. I was looking at this. I didn't take it because I said the spread was not the best, and I would have, you know, I'm a little bit more short biased. I prefer taking these short trades. So it's all good there. If we don't make a higher high here, that could be an interesting look. But Apple, actually, I was saying Apple looked like it was kind of getting a little bit burnt to a crisp here, burnt to an apple crisp. Apple was like, yeah, Dare, I do not know what you're talking about. I did not make another lower high. I am pushing higher. So I said, you know what, Apple, I respect that. This one's still Tim cooking here. Nice little look there for A to the H, the P to the L. Now actually bouncing off a wick basis. Let's see if this red candle does anything, or if this is going to be continue to be a Granny Smith apple for Apple, or if it's going to be a little bit more of a red delicious look for Apple. Also, 13 minutes till the Nvidia shareholder meeting. I'm going to see if I am able to get involved. Very happy going to that short when I did. Nvidia coming back to 124s. Higher lows here. Like I said, if I take a trade, also because, you know, I just want to clarify for anyone new here, I basically scalp pretty much exclusively. So if I'm involved in something, the goal is generally to be there for as short of a time as possible. So that being said, if there's still something I like at Nvidia as a short, I will take it. But I think we could be flipping long. Like I said, the area I'm really interested in Nvidia for a long and ended up rejecting. That's why I took this short. That is going to be 124.25. Let's see what we get when we get it, and we will not get upset. Yeah, Pitchbull's saying it's time to short Nvidia again. I mean, if we stay below the 90 MA, I'm pleased as punch. I have a lot of very specific penny levels I'm looking for, but right now, I'm looking to see if Nvidia will let me into its shareholder meeting. I'm going to see if I'm going to check on that right now.
Let her in, man, because we need to know all the deets.
We do.
So come on, Jensen, exercise some influence.
Influence. Or the confluence.
Rob EV asking about this one, Fabian. Oh, it's Ram now. Hey, Ram.
Ramin's laugh there was just...
I forgot to tell you guys to vote. Ram, you got to remind me, guys, make sure to vote every day from 2 to 2:30. We do the afternoon rundown, and it's your chance to vote for the stocks or have the stocks that are most important to you, talked about by the big kahunas, Neil and Sean. They will be looking at those names for you. So go into the chat right now, ! Join. And then space and the $sign and enter the ticker of your choice there, guys. So make sure to vote every day. All right, Rob EV. Yes, interesting look here on Rivian. Rivian, no, I'm kidding. $15 base looks like on Rivian here. But Rob, my concern is I love the $15 hold, and I like the fact that it put in a bit of higher low on every successive trough. But in the same way that every successive trough is a little bit higher than its predecessor, every successive crest is lower than its predecessor. So it's compressing, and it's compressing in down. The trend preceding the compression is a downtrend. So, you know, I'm not likely to want to take any breakout trade. I think you may have something, though, with a range trade on this if you're able to weasel your way near the low and then, you know, until it breaks out. But right now, it's declining volume, tighter ranges with the compression pattern. Compression, by definition, means tighter ranges. So we're also below VWAP. I got to tell you, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. And I know there's guys long this stock here, and I'm going to be careful what I say. But this is what I did yesterday. When I saw the news, I looked at Rivian on the daily chart. And here's what I see. Every time it breaks the exponential, the 200 exponential on the 5, it retraces. So what I did was, I'm like, all right, here's the first break back in mid-2023 of the 20 exponential. And how much did it move percentage-wise from the breakout of the 20 exponential to the top of the crest, and then before it retraced? That's 27% on that one. And then over here, when we broke the 20 exponential again, how high did we get? This time we got a cool 17, 18% at the highest, all right? So now we've broken the 20 exponential again on the daily. How high did we get yesterday? Well, basically the same thing kind of as the first one, 28 some odd percent, and then you see a red candle coming in. So I had a feeling this was going to be kind of like a sell the news type thing, but you know, I didn't take the trade. So this is what I was seeing on the daily, and that's what kind of led me to that thinking there with Rivian. So intraday, I think it's great. Anything off 15 if you can get it, but otherwise, I'm just staying clear. All right, let's go back into LTBR here. I put a dip trade at 417. This one's not going to get filled. The liquidity on this one is poop. So I'm going to cancel this trade here because I'm not getting filled despite the fact that it crossed. Let's look at some other ones. Meta is not coming in for my 5, 10 and a quarter dip, so I'm going to have to pack my patience there. Nor is my short on AMZN. So I'll have to, yeah, you guessed it, pack my patience there. But as I see that, I see a new high of day on the dead one Apple, and it is 214.01. This one, you know, looks like I really screwed this one up with my 213 and 15 entry. Should have held on to that one, Adair. Good move up for Apple.
Yeah, the Nvidia meeting, I am involved. As I put in the chat, I actually put a link in the chat as well. Nvidia, they're just playing some funky music. I have to say the music is much better than GME's music before its meeting started. I've ranted about this quite a lot, but it was some, just a lot of repetitive kind of easy, I was gonna say easily listening rock. I almost said funky, but it was not funky. This Nvidia music is funky. This is some funky Nvidia music. I'm listening to it right now. I took an Nvidia long. I was watching when we did the 9 EMA. We bounced off the 9 EMA. I said if we break below, I got involved with 89s. I said if we break below 73s, because that was the area that I thought was a sticking point, I'll get out. Took out a cool 6 pennies in the money right before that 124. Then I saved a piece for the dream. The dream was 124.09s, got out there. Like I said, 124.25s. That was the area from which we fell from grace quite beautifully earlier, so I'm going to absolutely be watching that level. I will be keeping you guys posted with that NVIDIA meeting, but right now, it's just some nice funky jazz. They're just, drumming right now. I'm really enjoying this jazz music, I have to say. I felt like I was involved in a heist movie taking this NVIDIA long. So good times over here. Let's see. Although I've noticed I am more productive with music. I talk about this a lot. I swear I get the watch list done the fastest when we're playing music in the mornings. Let's see how this NVDA goes. I said I wanted to see 25s. We did not even get to 25s. We got to 19s and rejected. So we're going to have to wait and see here. We are generally having higher highs, though, or higher lows, sorry, on this NVDA chart. So I want to be incredibly cautious. I was shouted to Vicky and Novak saying, well, Jensen could be dropping guidance during this meeting, so shorts, definitely be careful. I agree. The way I trade, I'm always going to be scalping, right? So I'm always going to be very cognizant of that. We got to 124s, bounced beautifully. So this 124 level could maybe be here for not just a good time, but a good time and a long time. Trying to switch it up here. Y Brothers United took the long, apparently, when I went to send it to you. I mean, I was in and out of that trade. So, yeah, great long for you. Congrats, Y Brothers United. CMG red to green, says Tampanda. Yeah, from the color of a red pepper to the color of a guacamole. Good look there for CMG. I was saying earlier today, I was like to Rivian, I said we'd be making CMG puns all day. And she was like, oh, yay. So I don't know if that was sarcasm or not, but shout out to Rivian, shout out to Fabian, shout out to everyone here. That CMG VWAP bounce was just beautiful. Chipotle Mexican Grill, grilling up a win for the longs there. Nice. Yeah, I don't have words. Good luck here for CMG. These topping tail candles are very deceptive, and if you had that long at VWAP, that was a fantastic look for CMG. Nvidia, again, I have to applaud you for having multiple songs in your pre-meeting playlist on GME. How are you doing?
Good. Keeping an eye on the futures. You are right there.
I was very upset by the GME music. I said this multiple times.
The future is absolutely pumping to the high side, whether you're the ES September contract or the NQ. What a move up there, breaking through the high a day on the NQ in both the ES. 20,025 on the NQ, 55, I believe, 41 on the ES September contract. This is the small cap gappers just looking at the future over here. Well, that's not really surprising, quite frankly. Now we're short the Zon because of the move up. So now we got to deal with this position. So let's now look at that entry. All right, so we're short right at that $0.50 level. So where's my line in the sand? It's going to be the break of the 2/3 of a dollar. So we'll go 191, we'll go 69s, and then we'll look to cover 191, 69s, and then we'll look to cover everything in 275. So playing the range on AMZN. I know it's kind of counter trend here as we move down a little bit. So I'm going to set up my beak wetter in the mid-30s, see if we get something in and around that level. I'm also keeping an eye on Softy as well, right? Great 20-period exponential dip trade off the soft one. 452. I mean, I didn't have eyes on that either. I feel a little bit silly because it showed you its absolute respect for the 20-period on the 5 at around 11.10 and 11.15. And then it got right back into high days and then finds a little bit of selling, really unsurprising there. So packing my patience with this AMZN short at the top. I've already put my out in my stop in, keeping definitely an eye on Apple as it really is I think one of the reasons the future is at day's high right now because Apple just printed its own day high at 214.38. Also, the Cybertruck awfully strong on the day, right into that 195.50. Having, retracing a little bit, but definitely still very much to the uptrend, breaking through 194 with viciousness. This was kind of the reason I was looking for a range trade on Tesla, because it had been ranging essentially from 940 to this candle over here, 1135 breakout. Great trade for whoever took that long on TSLA. I'd not take that one though. Goggles, double bottom off the volume weighted average price at 183.50. It's been very rangy on the day as well, and it's right back into 184. Could it find some resistance here? I mean, it broke it obviously earlier, but it did have trouble with 184 at 1120. It came right into that level and rejected off that 184.01, which is yesterday's closing print. So we'll have to see if both these bad boys here can continue to head to the upside. Yeah, Zed, or whatever your name is, this is a show, and so we can't just stay silent on the show, so we're going to continue to talk. If you don't like it, you can mute us. All right, so what's next on your list there?
Oh, okay, guys, an update on the music for the NVDA shareholder meeting, and I swear it is relevant. So we switched from that fun, high-quality jazz to a tinnier classical music. The fact that this music is tinnier makes me think it's coming from the meeting itself, which makes me think the meeting is starting soon. We are 2 minutes away from takeoff time. We're playing opera music. Also, if you're looking at the NVDA chart, I really should have taken this short, but we rejected off that 125.60. Now, why I drew all these lines here, or sorry, 124.60. So do these lines because that 124.25, that was our first rejection on this NVDA, right? That was that previous wick basis. Then we get to where that candle closed, where we had that support. That was 124.60. Look where, I mean, it's gone now, but that was where we rejected. So I was like, okay, interesting look there. Now, the next area of rejection for me is going to be where we had that move here, 124.90. So this could be an interesting look. We are bouncing off 124s. I am cognizant of that. Like guys, I feel like I'm more comfortable trading shorts, but I'll take longs as well. I'll take whatever's available. But like I said, that 124.25 has also been a bit of an area here for Nvidia. If it bounced off 124.25, I have no qualms going long until those other resistance areas that have been notified. Killer Cam saying, what of the music you're listening to is AI generated? I have no idea. It's in the, the only thing that I even mentioned it is because the quality when we started hearing the opera was different from the quality of the jazz. The jazz was definitely played for our ears. It sounds like we're listening to other people's music. I feel like this is music they're playing in the meeting. So we'll see if the meeting starts. We have 1 minute till lift off time there for that Nvidia meeting. Lots of these little red candles here. Apple getting a big old, not a big old red candle, but a red candle. Nvidia getting a red candle, and Tesla's like, what is the color red? I know nothing about red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes of six candles of upside. 30 minutes here for Tesla just running up that 90 MA. 195.45. Great look. Over $1 above its previous high of day, around that 194.19. So great look for TSLA. How was the Amazon short? I see you got Express delivered some product.
Yeah, we took some scalps there. What's up? On. $4 in the money on TSLA. Shout out. Can you guess who? Katina, man. Shout out to him, man. Great trade there.
Sorry.
Go.
It started. Yeah.
Okay. Great trade there, Sean, on that. Where'd you get long? Yes. Well, it's 195, so I'm assuming 191. Hey. 191.75 long for the Katina man on TSLA. Tesla's having itself a great day. I mean, have we been up here? When's the last time we were up here, guys? Let's have a look at the 4-hour over here. Excuse me for 1 second. Yeah, we haven't been up here in a hot minute. Last time we were up here was March. Oh, no. We got up here. What am I saying? We got up here late April. Okay. So interesting levels here on Tesla. We know definitely 200 is a level owing to this double top that we put in on April 29th. So we'll have to see if that 200 level comes in again, because I think that would be a spicy short there. So we'll see. Still holding my AMZN short. I still like this level. We're 10 pennies in the money, nothing to write home about, but we're not making any newer highs. So I think that kind of helps with my position a little bit here as we come down into the 30s. So packing my patience, keeping my eye on the future. We are above 20,000 on the future right now, but I don't really want to look at this as a breakout or breakdown trade, because that 20,000 and 25 on the future, we almost like triple topped in and around there, depending on what you're looking at. This candle over here, that candle, and a couple of candles right there. So yeah, it looks like, I don't know, possibly a range. Don't really have a great read on the future today, but we're going to take this AMZN short, and we're doing decent on it right now. Let's see what we get. Adira?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. I was just listening to this man explaining the rules of the Nvidia meeting. I apologize there. So Jensen is going to be the chairman of the meeting. He is not talking right now. It's another dude. This dude is basically saying that people can vote right now through the online portal. They're reminding you of the rules of conduct. Nothing exciting has happened yet in Nvidia. Nvidia, the stock, keeps bouncing around, bouncing off that 124 area, higher lows on the book. Like a little bit of an issue still with that 124.25, 124.30, but we are moving in a range of about 25 to 40 pennies here on this NVDA, worth noting. Stock-wise, other than I've really been trying to focus on this NVIDIA meeting, I'm like, got him in my ear. But AAPL also was interesting to me here. We had that move up to 1440. Then we had a bit of a Macintosh candle. There, showed it to Ramin. It was saying Fabian apparently was telling her I should have been saying Macintosh like iMac, right? So that makes sense when I was listening to all those apples. Let's see what we do here on Apple, the stock. We had that nice little bullish candle here bouncing into 214s. I think this could go either way right now. We're going to have to wait and see here on AAPL. High of day currently, 214.44. Nvidia is probably something I'll be keeping my eye on throughout the meeting, just because we had that. Also, I forgot to mention this. I tried to take a trade in AMD, tried to go long AMD. At the time, we were bouncing off the 157.40. That was an area I liked as resistance earlier, took it short. And we also had, in retrospect, this was a doji, but part of me was like, oh, well, it was a bottoming tail candle. I liked it. I took it. The second I saw stuff I didn't like in the books, we broke below 157.30. I got out, so risked like 15 pennies. All good in the hood there. Shout out to Robinhood as well. Shout out to Sean. I said hood, so I thought of Robinhood. Cheese is what I'll say there. Lots of cheese brie, Parmesan, whatever cheese there. It's funny because I know you didn't used to say cheese, but now you say cheese because people.
I actually don't. Cheese. I say cheese, and if it sounds like it though, but it's always a mad because of Captain Protein over there, and he earned that. He earned that title. He earned the title. We showed everything last week. Yeah. Chugging those raw eggs. just down to 6 right there. Rocky Balboa style. Shout out to Captain Protein. Doing the most in a good way every day, guys. All right, let's have a look here. Nothing really, we're at days high on a lot of names, mostly here, so keeping an eye on this. We just got another 20-period rejection on Nvidia, and I was looking at that. I was very cognizant of that 20 doji that showed up there. I just don't want to take anything on Nvidia right now because we have the meeting starting, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Also, I want to make the point that, sometimes it looks like it's a 20-period rejection, but in my humble opinion, it's really a defend or a rejection of that, earlier trough that we put in. So it crests there. So that 124.75 looks like it was a great level earlier on to take a long. Now it's a good level to take a short. It looks like as it drops right back into 124. Great look there for whoever's shorting NVDA. We saw Adair with multiple shorts on that bad boy as well as long. So we'll see what this one gives us as the meeting shortly it's already underway here. So we'll see what we get from that meeting. All right, come on, Amazon. Let's go. We've been waiting here in the 30s. Amazon really taking its sweet time to break down, if it's going to break down. And then Anurag asked me if I'm going to take the long if I get stopped out. That's a great question, Anurag. I didn't think about that, but I do like that 190, 170 flat top because you've got triple top in and around there. Like, basically, look, the amount of times we've rejected off here, they're not all going to be at the same level. The initial one was at 60. This one dipped a little bit below, mid-50s. This is the same thing over here and kind of, showing its propensity to range. We're right at 20,000 right now. We dipped below it just momentarily on the NQ September contract. Right up we go. Tesla also finding a bit of a bid here at the 10 exponential, so maybe we should load up the Cybertruck and remove this meta long that we had as a dip trade over here. Let's see what we have on said Cybertruck. Oops. Yeah, that 194.65 area, interesting. It was 194.40 general area. That's where the 10 exponential was on TSLA. It's coming right back into that area again. So let's see what we get here on Tesla. It's interesting. Couple of candles here. I'm not really sure how to play this. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Nvidia. Some guy named John Chavetta has 3 minutes to present his proposal. He has a very subdued speaking voice. Oh. I wish he'd speak a little bit louder, but it's all good. John is talking right now. I tried to short Nvidia off that 124 rejection, not once, but twice. And both times Nvidia said, Adair, you're too busy listening to John right now. We're not going to make you take that trade, too. I said, well, Nvidia, that's not really your decision, okay? That's my decision. But my debate with Nvidia aside, I am not involved in the stock. We are, though, seeing lower highs on the book, but we're also seeing higher lows on the book. This could go either way. If we keep rejecting 124, I will keep attempting, an emphasis on attempt, because it does not let me successfully do this. By successfully, I mean it won't let me in the trade. But if we break below that 124, or if we stay below the 124, I will have no qualms with taking this short. I'm aware we have these bottoming tail candles. That is something I am cognizant of. But that 124.25 is a huge line in the sand for me. It's a big old line in the sand. Also, that reminds me, I don't know why that reminded me, but someone earlier said that GME needs to be poked with a stick. I would have a stick, but I'll take a look at GME and see if we can wake it up for you. I spent, I was a little bit upset about GME's music at the shareholder meeting, so maybe that was not look like that was poking anything with GME here. Bit of a, I don't want to say head and shoulders, but because it's not really head and shoulders, but we had one move up here, 2 lower, not as high pushes up here, and then a bit of a, currently slumping below the 90 MA. But you know what is never slumping, what is always fun, is Neil's lesson of the day. That was a transition. Shout out.
Welcome to the lesson of the day here, and I feel like it'll be a poignant one because in a bull market, you're going to find lots of all-time highs and 52-week highs that break out, and some follow through, some don't. So I want to talk about like a 52-week high or an all-time high failed breakout and what you can do, like what you can look for. Obviously, it's pretty bullish when any stock is making a fresh high. There's no question about that, and you want to join trends as a general rule, so we like trend trading. But every now and then, there's a situation where what happens at that 52-week or all-time high can give you an opportunity in the other direction, and then you just have to be patient for that inevitable push. So there's a couple of names I want to get to, and if you're wondering the reason why I'm talking about this one, it's just because Carvana, I love the break and it didn't work, right? So usually I'm going to give you something where it was like a learning experience, Amazon was a good one, so we'll get to Amazon after, but I always want to start with like what didn't work and why this was the lesson of the day here on Carvana. So look at the daily chart, kind of easy to see here. Carvana, there is your ridiculous trend to the upside. Everything you want to see is good. Goes right into a 52-week high break just at the close. So there was a tick above it here at the close. Not a true breakout per se the first time today, but it kind of pulled back and gave you a secondary run at it here in this session. So the first things first, if you like a breakout, Carvana's a squeeze name. So if it's taking 130, you know, I'm going to take multiple shots. If I can risk 25, 50 cents here, like that kind of thing, I'll take 2 or 3 swings at it, knowing that the one time it goes, you could be at 135, 140. All those things are possible at Carvana. So I know I'm going to like that long. But if in the back of your mind you are thinking there could be a fail break, and I'll get to what that might look like for a couple of days on something like an Amazon, I think you want to go for a relatively tight stop. Because when you are at an all-time high, there's a lot of people, I know it gets said, don't sell at all-time highs. But you got a name like Carvana that's a squeeze name that fundamentally almost nobody thinks should be up here. I think you want to have a relatively tight stop. So the first couple times, super tight. Then when it holds a consolidation above, I'm opening it up, but never more than the previous high on the day before. There's nothing wrong with taking a hit in a trade. But what happens is, if I'm taking 130.20 or something like that, and I'm holding it all the way into VWAP, now just say VWAP doesn't hold, so in this situation, maybe you're able to hold at 270 against you, slippage gives you $3, that would work out. But in the day that it doesn't work out, you could be losing $3 on that trade. Now, if I'm thinking 135 in that situation, 33, 34, 35 on the way up, my average out might be $3.50. Then you hold some for the dream. That's not a good risk to reward. And when you think about all-time high breaks, especially on a squeeze name, I don't know that I want to need to be 70, 80% right on those trades. I'd rather be able to take 3 swings at it, have one of them go, and then have a great day on the stock, as opposed to needing everything to be absolutely perfect, hold it way against me, too tempting to average in. So be careful with those all-time high breaks. It can be a place where if the initial day trade failure doesn't work, you might want to jump out of it. Now that would free you up. If you like the VWAP dip, you can then be in the VWAP dip. If you want to see if it can hold higher lows and break it out a second time, which is where I'm elected to go, then I can just look for that trade later on. Maybe we get a 1 o'clock breakout here at a 130, at 130.50. And as an example of that, I always try to show you one that didn't work and then one that did. Amazon, very similar story. Now, it's obviously not a squeeze name, but you had a high break to start the week, you had a local high break, went right into its 52-week high on Monday and could not break. I mean, almost like a wick to it, and look at the big rejection. Again, this is what I'm getting at. Now, what did we do with Amazon the next couple of days? We shorted the weakness. If it's going to reject that, we look for a short. It's an all-time high break. We ended up shorting it a couple times yesterday. There was a big sell and bounce we took advantage of at the close. But what I want to get to for today on Amazon, I don't have it, distracted by other names. I won't complain about that. But when you're able to see that rejection of the high, have a note at where that low is going to be. Right? Like the day that it rejects that all-time high, remember it's a trending stock. That's important. It's a strong stock. It's a trending stock. It holds 185, which just so happens to be the Friday low as well. So there's a big hold, there's a big hold, there's another hold, even on that dump yesterday. Hold at 185. What does it do today? Several days of that hold, puts in the higher low. At that point, things have calmed down a bit. It showed to sell, but it could not push through even on weakness through that first level of support. At that point, sometimes you should start thinking about that long break again. Now, I'm admittedly, like I said, I didn't. That's why it's the lesson of the day here. We got the short going into 185, but coming back out, suddenly that secondary play is looking pretty darn good for Amazon. See that big upward trend? You've rinsed out a lot of short-term weak hands on that initial failed break, but you put in a higher low, and now you're clean for the breakout. If the stock closes above 191.5 here or 192 in that range, I think you just start looking for longs again because you have a sustained breakout play. Not every stock is going to give you a clean move the first time it attempts that high. You've got to be willing to look for that higher low, be willing to get out of that trade, look for another spot to get in. Maybe you got to wait a couple of days. Certainly, if it puts in a higher low 2-3 days in a row and it's a strong trending stock, you should favor that long. We always say this, have a plan for your trade. If I got into that Carvana and had told myself, this thing, I mean, come on, if it breaks out this time, we're going squeezing. I'm just going to sit in it. I love that trade. I'm going to hold it forever because I like it and I'm confident in it. Then my day, week, month could be ruined because you don't have yourself an out. Obviously, this remains to be seen if it holds these higher lows. Maybe we get a second crack at this and it breaks out the top again. If we don't, then we don't get a chance to make our money back. I don't mind having Carvana be my worst stock today. I don't mind it. But I do mind if I lose 5 or 6 times as much as I needed to, because that's unnecessary. You know the risk when you're taking a breakout trade. Don't take it into oblivion, but do not give up on it just because it does not go day one. You saw that lesson with Amazon. It remains to be seen here with Carvana. And when you have a bull market, you're going to see a lot of 52-week highs and all-time highs. So don't give up on it just because it doesn't go that first time through. Have an out. Be willing to take it the second time. If you love it and it puts in a higher low, the trend is still going to be with you when it breaks out the second time. And you should only need one if you're managing risk. That's your lesson of the day. We're going to get these high breaks. You might as well take advantage of them while they're here.
Thank you very much, Neil. Dropping hotlines every day on Neil's lesson of the day. Catch that with him around noon every day, guys. All right, so let's have a look. I'm long at the soft one over here, looking for a 20 period hold. I'm gonna be a bit more aggressive with where I wanna take some out, so I'm putting it a little bit higher than I typically would. We'll see what we get there. 20 period dip trade on MSFT. I'm also keeping an eye on Tesla. I was looking for a possible long here on it, but it's breaking down below the 10 exponential on the 5, so I'm gonna wait here to see if I can weasel my way into the Cybertruck at some point. I'll be looking for maybe a 194 hold, still a couple of pennies above that level. There was this new small cap gapper. Well, I don't want to say new. CMAX started showing up on my chart as, or not my chart, my, what's it called? My scanner. I'll get it right, guys. On my scanner, and it was a big one. CMAX, CMAX. This one, though, look, the issue with this one is the volume. 1.25 million shares, a $3 name. It's got to do a lot more than that. The chart looks really good, though. A lot of respect for the 20 exponential. But as you can see, just by the nature and the view of these candles, very sparsely traded. So I'm a little hesitant to do anything with this one today.
Yeah, Tesla hanging out around 194. I was also looking for a trade here. I don't see anything right now, but I'm keeping an eye on it. And you know what? Right now, the Nvidia shareholder meeting, they're just talking about some different proposals. They'll do some voting, but you know who else can do some voting? You guys in the chat. Ooh. You go in the chat. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about this during the break. You can go in there right now, and you can type whatever ticker you want, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. So that's right. Shift 1, join, space, shift 4, $, and then whatever ticker you fancy, whatever tickers you fancy. You guys know.
Sorry, I wasn't concentrating.
No, it's okay. You go in the chat. I'm just showing it to Sharif's, keyboard hands, and then Sharif will be up on there talking about those stocks on the green screen, moving around there, having a chat about the stocks, then you'll see the big kahunas and how they played or would have played those stocks. I'm listening to the shareholder meeting. Mohammed Reza is saying, why are we talking about Rivian? There was a lot of Rivian chat on the big screen shows. Definitely check that out. You can also vote for the RIVN ticker, but I'll look at Rivian right now because I know Sharif had a lot of really cool points there on Rivian earlier today. Rivian at low of days. And this is actually a flat bottom break. I would say shout out to Sharif. It had a big quadum here at that $15 level, formed a support a couple times, and then it fell to the downside. RJ Scaringe, we have some buyers feeling a little scaringed away here, pushing to low of day. So yeah, bit of a move there. Still listening to the shareholder meeting. This guy is yapping. We have Nvidia. I took 2 little scalps here in NVDA, took about 6 pennies on each. Again, I'm really just doing these tape scalpings. The second I see anything that makes me leave, I leave. But I also do have stop losses set in my head as well. For me, if we stay below that 124.25 and there's opportunities for quick profit taking, it's going to be fair game for me. Gaurav Sanchez saying Dell is down on big volume. DELL. Did you see any stories on Dell today?
I think it's with weakness with the chips, but
That
I'll
would
look.
make sense, yeah.
Unusual options activity coming in
Ooh.
No, I'm not seeing anything, Adara.
Yeah, thank you. I was
Nothing
just
major,
wondering.
yeah.
I will say, girl, it could be a technical break because look at this 138.40. This was huge support earlier on a wick basis. We get this right at the open. Gorgeous look. We push higher. Then we form it again. We have a lower high at the 90 EMA, and then we reject. I don't want to say it's just technical. We do have more volume here. But as of right now, we're not seeing anything. So we will let you know. But thank you for letting us know about that. Girl, let's take a look at the daily chart. We know Dell fell on earnings a little bit there. But yeah, I don't know if we're at the gates of Dell yet. Shout out to Darwin for making that pun earlier. Yeah, time will tell what happens with this. We're below the 90 EMA though on the daily. What a topping tail candle. To me, this is an interesting area at 150. We're gonna top and turn at 150. We pop up higher, we gap down, then we come up 150. Little bit of a resistance area, so I think 150 could be spicy for DELL. Nvidia popping well above 124.25. We'll have to see. Like I have no issues taking it long. Apple getting a bit of a topping tail candle. Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, watching all of them. AMD could be interesting here as well.
All right, doing well on this Tesla trade. I wet my beak with 20 pennies. I'm waiting a little bit more here nicely. Now 30 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can get that 194 continuation. 20 period exponential. If this breaks 50, I only have one out left. If this breaks 50, 193.50, I'm out. So it's gonna have to continue here for me to stay in. I'm also back in softy. I got stopped out initially, but I do like the level at this 452 and a half and a third in this general area. A break of 20 is gonna get me stopped out. So if we get stopped out here, we'll go 0 for 2 on the soft one. But I'm seeing these doji candles, which usually means some indecision. So I don't want to get shaken out of this. But the real trade here is Tesla, nicely in the money here at the 194, but I am expecting a little bit of resistance here at this 194. We'll see if we get it. We're showing 194.05 now. Bless you, Ram, on that one. We'll see if we're definitely getting a little bit of resistance here at 194. We're a decent price. We got 69s, so we've got a nice 40 penny buffer over here, but I definitely want a little bit more, especially with that 195.50 high up day. So I've moved up my stop into break even, so hopefully I'll get bottom wick and I won't get stopped out. All right, back to softy over here. Nicely back up here. Now I'm waiting at 69s. Can we get 69 or 66s actually? I'm waiting at, it's showing 67s on the ask, and there we go. We get the out on softy. Nice move up here on the soft one. Nice 30 pennies in the money on this one. Let's see if we can get a little bit more here. I was waiting on softy for a long time, you know, and it does end up bouncing, but we got shaken out of it initially. So Ram. So we'll keep looking there. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Tesla, keep my eye on Microsoft. Those are the two trades I have at the moment. Nothing really that special though, Adara. Anything new coming vis-a-vis our friend, the leather jacketed one, Jensen Huang?
The leather jacketed one is not speaking.
Oh.
It's a lot of men that sound like the same man, but I know they're not the same man because they're saying different things. These guys are coming in right now. They're talking about their different proposals. A lot of it's technology-based. One guy kept talking about a ship that started with the G, this thing. Yeah, lots of technology being mentioned here. Nvidia, I'm going to shock everyone. I will actually go long Nvidia if it holds 124.25. I have no qualms. I am qualmless. I've been talking about that area for so long. So we're going to take that, and Nvidia's like, yeah, so too bad, Adara, because I'm not going to give it to you. I was like, well, how rude of you, Nvidia. So let's see here if the leather, how rude. I sound like that girl in Full House. How rude. But let's see what we do here. Stephanie, yeah.
Judy Sweet. Oh, I was going to call her Jody Sweeting. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to her. Shout out as well to Nvidia because it did let me get filled. I really would like to see that pop. And as we get involved, now Nvidia's like, yeah, Adara, I'm still resisting here. I was like, well, okay, let's see. I'm comfortable with my area of entry and flatten it right now. I would love to see us push here into 50s. I know it's like 20 pennies. I'll take it. As long as we keep bouncing here off the 90 MA, I am pleased as punch. I will stay in this trade, but I am a scalper at heart, so I would like to be able to scalp as much as possible. You know what? We're going to take out half here at 32s. I'm aware, 7 pennies in the money. You got to take what you can get. You don't get upset. And if you're going to scalp, that's got to be the game plan. I have to say, with these scalps, with these going for smaller moves, this has been my best day in a very long time. I am pleased as punch, and not just P&L wise, because I really haven't been looking much at the P&L. I mean mentally. I just feel like I am in a new place trading. I'm trying to believe in myself, as I have in my little note to myself that I look at every day. It's my form of a trading journal. You know, conviction is not just a Law and Order show. It is a way of life when it comes to trading. And if you believe in yourself and your trades, you will trade to the best of your abilities. Because really, as I was saying yesterday, if you don't believe in yourself and believe in your trades, no one's gonna do that for you, right? So I think that's really important there. I'm happy I got out on video where I did, because if that 124.25 is a protection area again, I will short it. Thank you, Pablo Husey. Welcome to Trader TV Live. And you guys, make sure you vote for your tickers as the Nvidia shareholders be voting on these men's proposals. You go in the chat right now, ! join, space, $, whatever tickers you're fancy, MSFT, TSLA, NVDA, AAPL, QQQ, SPY. I'm just looking at my side charts, but seriously, guys, whatever. Well, I'm going to look at Sharif's now. Meta, Amazon, NXL. Yeah, guys, just you know what tickers you like.
Yes.
Please vote for them.
Yeah, have your say every day, guys, right? The big kahunas, they're locked, they're loaded, they're going to be locked and loaded. They're locked and loaded right now because Sean's back from his walk. But seriously, a lot of people always ask us, what's Sean doing with this? What's Neil doing with that? Well, here's your chance. If you don't ask, you don't get. The only way you ask is by voting. It is a democratic system around here, Darren, not authoritarian. So yeah, have your say every day, guys, by voting in said chat at the moment. So the two trades I've got on now, I've got on Softy, I've got on Tesla. I've moved up my stop on both of them into my entry. I'm a little suspicious of this market as we dance at 20,000. Nothing really doing to the high side or the downside, so I am a little bit suspicious. I did get stopped out of Softy there for the last remaining amount for break even, which I'm absolutely fine with because it's a bit of a range trade that's making lower highs and lower lows. So if it wants to go up, it's going to have to break up, and then I'll get back involved in it.
So they're doing Q&A with Denson right now. It hasn't started yet, but they're asking him questions. How does Nvidia maintain its competitive edge? I will be keeping an eye for the longs and the shorts here.
Assassinate Lisa and everybody else, right? That's the only way to do it. No, seriously though, guys, a lot of people talking about how it's kind of like Google with their market share with search. It's just so good, it can only go down from here. So I'm not necessarily one of those people that believes that. We'll have to see how they do it. Maybe they can increase margins. Maybe they can do something else to maintain the balance sheet. So I'll keep an eye on that. But I'm looking also at Tesla, waiting for possibly an exit here, Ram, as the level comes back into my entry at 69s. We're showing 76s. I've moved up my stop into my entry price because I literally have bottom wick. So it'll be literally placing the stop below the low of the trough. So if it breaks up above 194, fantastic. It's been holding the 20 exponential for the last 15 minutes, but it's also had 194 as a flat top. It can't break above 194, at least not yet. We'll have to see how it resolves. Time will tell, I guess. So keep that in mind there. Okay, we're above 20,000 here. All right, Tesla right back above 194. Oh, soft one. No, you don't. Come on.
No, soft one.
No. Yeah. It's just, that's the way it is. I'm to blame here. I moved up my stop into my entry. If I hadn't moved up my stop, I wouldn't have got stopped out. Lesson in context, guys. There you go. Don't be a schmuck like me and do that. But there you go. At least we're profitable.
Yeah.
Keeping my eye on Tesla. That got into 194.20. Go, Tesla, go. All right, so Tesla's still below the 10 exponential, though. I think I'm going to just hold on to this one and see what happens. If it continues up, it continues up. Great. Not gonna sell this one. Gorev, you did ask me about Amazon and what I would do if it did break that top. So I want to mention, because that's a great question right there from Gorev. Was earlier. Where the hell is my Amazon? Dang it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, there it is, Gorev. Actually, this entry over here was accidental. That was an unclean stop, but we got into it, and I said, you know, what always resonates in my mind is what Neil says. If you get into something accidentally, just get out, right? And here he is, he's talking. Gorev, shout out to you. I didn't even see your message. Amazon continuing higher was a break and retest, now moving higher again. You're absolutely right, brother. And that was a great flat top break through that 193 and change level. So we'll keep eyes on that, man. But look at Tesla. Wow, we're $1 in the money now on the Cybertruck there. Very happy with this one. That's the end of the trade, Adara.
So some clapping there, but I'm very happy for you. I'm pleased as punch for you.
Thank
So
you.
I'm a little bit upset that MSFT is killing you softy with its chart.
Yeah.
But you made profit on it. Shout out to Tesla there. I really want to shout out to Sharif.
Thank you, Adara.
And I had to pun
I
because
appreciate
it's
you.
what I do. Yeah, Jensen answering questions. He is just pleased as punch. He is cool, calm, and collected. And I had an NVIDIA long that I let go of because I can't take these types of moves. I lost 10 pennies on it. I'm not even going to sit here and be all upset and cry over spilt milk. I said I wanted to see us hold 25s. We couldn't hold 25s. I had to leave. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But NVIDIA, I said, what are those levels of resistance I was watching for? 124.95. Guess what we just hit? 194.25. Guess what we just rejected? 194.25. If we come to 124.70, that was the other previous resistance level. If we can't hold that, I am taking NVIDIA short again. And I have no qualms. I am qualmless because I have confidence. I have confidence. I have whatever the Adara version of that is. It's just you just have to believe in yourself because that's how you have progress and that's how you make trades. Even if you lose, you still win because you believed in yourself and you took the trade you needed to trade instead of standing there all waffly. I would love to see NVIDIA brush up, try to kiss 124.70 on the cheek again and then reject it. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but if I keep seeing these lower highs in the book, I am qualmless about going short. You know what? Actually, I will take this short here. If we break above 70s, I'm out. I realize that is a really tight stop here, but that's how if you're going to be scalping, if you're going to be trying to make very little profit, you have to be willing to risk very little with that in mind. So let's see here. Don't think I'm going to get this fill, but I want to watch and see what we do. I think NVIDIA is breaking down a little bit here. Jensen answering some questions about quantum computing. What makes NVIDIA different? He said they have some of the cheaper systems there, so affordability certainly worth noting. Now I think NVIDIA might actually flat top break this 124.50, and I say that because we have higher lows here. I'm not in the short. If we bounce off 124.25, you guys know how I feel about that level. I will take it long again. But we have to really wait and see what we do. I have to say one of the fun things about scalping is you can change your mind about 40 times in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be okay.
Adara,
Yeah.
intraday trading, you should be as flexible as
right?
possible.
It's so fun. Like I will take longs. I know people joke I'm a bear, but because I think my brain works more that way. But I'll take longs as well if I see fit. So
Clearly.
as long as thank you, I appreciate it. As long as the levels come in, that is where I will be involved here. So let's see, Nvidia, you want to keep bouncing off 124.30. I am qualmless about taking you long. I'll risk you into 15s last time because if I had, I would have had that trade. But you know what else is happening right now? Learning.
Yes.
Average true range.
Lesson of the day. We're talking about ATR all week. We'll be talking about it tomorrow and Friday as well. Today we're talking about how to use average true range for your stop placement. Just 1 second here. I just want to mute the NVIDIA event so that I can concentrate a little bit on the lesson.
I'll scream if there's anything big.
Thank you. Yeah. And please interrupt me.
Oh, yeah.
So traders, let's face it. Stop loss orders can sometimes feel like the enemy, shaking you out a little bit too early. But what if you could transform them into a helpful buddy? Today we'll see how average true range ATR for short can be your stop loss buddy, placing informed exits and managing risk effectively. Let's get right down to business. So everyone who's traded and used stops knows that the stop loss struggle is absolutely real. Placing a stop loss order is absolutely crucial for risk management if you're going to intraday trade, but how close should it be? Too tight and you get shaken out by normal price fluctuations, and too loose, you risk bigger losses. So ATR, average true range to the rescue. So the ATR is your intraday kind of volatility meter as we introduced it on Monday. It comes to the rescue in this case here. Here's how to use it for smarter stop loss placement. First things first, you got to understand ATR. Remember, ATR reflects the instrument or the market's typical daily price movement. A high ATR is suggesting to you a volatile market, while a low ATR is indicating to you a calmer one. So keep that in mind because you have to know, number one, what market am I trading in? Are we in a high volatile market or are we in a calmer period? What instrument am I trading? Am I trading a Tesla or an Nvidia that probably has a higher ATR? Or am I trading something like Apple a few months ago, which has a lower ATR a few months ago, I said. Right? So you need to know that. And then in addition to that, you need to know yourself. What do you like? Do you like volatile markets? Do you like calmer markets? So you need to understand all of those before you move on to the next step. All right? The next step is, though, the stop loss formula itself. So let's get right to that. Essentially, all you're really doing is it's a derivative off yesterday. You're going to multiply the average true range by a factor, a multiplier. This multiplier will be, again, reflective of the current market conditions, the instrument that you're trading, and your overall disposition as a trader. It needs to reflect all three of those. And it doesn't have to be static. It can absolutely be dynamic because the market is dynamic, right? And the instrument you trade is dynamic. Apple was the dead one a few months ago, not so much anymore. So the multiplier has to be influenced by those three factors: the instrument you're trading, the market conditions in which you trade, and your overall disposition as a trader, okay? And so your multiplier here is going to give you either a wider stop or a lighter stop. So the smaller multiplier gives you a tighter stop. The higher multiplier gives you a wider stop. So that's just kind of what you need to know there. All right? So
meeting over. Just letting you know the meeting's
It's all over?
Yeah.
Is the price moving? Is it doing
it's
anything?
Not. It's still, you guys know what levels. We haven't gotten above that 124.95. We made a slightly lower high here at 85s. Now we're dropping here. Not much happening.
Sounds good. All right, keep me updated. If anything happens,
yeah, so I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, of course. So that's the formula. So let's talk about how the formula would look if you were taking a long. So if I get into a long, it's going to be your entry price minus your average true range multiplied by your factor. Obviously, you're going to do the ATR and the multiplier first, and then you're going to subtract that from the price. The exact opposite is the formula for the short. It's going to be your entry price plus the ATR multiplied by the factor. So what does this look like IRL? So here's an example in action. Imagine you buy a stock at 20 bucks, right? The ATR, the average true range on that $20 stock, is $2. You choose a multiplier of 1 to kind of keep things at moderate, not 2 for extreme, not 0.5 for overly conservative. You choose a moderate multiplier of 1. So here's how it would look. So your long would be $20 minus 2 times 1, which is 2, obviously. So you're going to deduct 2 from 20. That gets you 18, right? So that is where your stop goes. You're going to place your stop loss. And again, you know, stop placement critical here. I would never put it at the whole dollar. I always put it a couple of shekels south of that whole dollar to give myself a buffer. You can do however you want. So that is how your long position would be. The short would be the exact opposite, using the addition rather than the subtraction, okay, of that. And volatility matters in these scenarios, right? Now, let's say you buy another stock at 40 bucks, but this one doesn't have an ATR of 2, it has an ATR of $1. You use the same multiplier, that $1 moderate multiplier, not conservative, not overly aggressive, so you get now a $39 stop out. So you get in at 40, you're gonna have to put your stop at 39 based upon, number 1, the average true range for the instrument, and number 2, your chosen multiplier, which should again reflect your own disposition as a trader and your own or in the market conditions, okay? So that is the look there. So what are the benefits of average true range? Well, number 1, they set a realistic buffer. The stop loss considers normal market fluctuations within the expected daily range. That helps prevent you from getting shaken out by temporary price movements. But it's also quite good for adaptable protection. The stop loss, by definition, adjusts to different volatility level vis-a-vis the multiplier, right? And the true range. Offering tighter protection in volatile markets, but also offering you looser stops in the calmer periods. And it also offers you peace of mind, right? Knowing that you have a well-defined exit strategy, not one that's based on, you know, willy-nilly decisions. That can help reduce your anxiety and help you stick to your overall trading plan, Fabian. That's a pretty good one right there, eh? Shout out to the Chilean nightmare. Remember, guys, ATR, definitely not a crystal ball. It is a lagging indicator as opposed to a leading one, so you need to take that in context and consider other tools to help you with your analysis using average true range, such as support and resistance, and whatever other technical levels you may want to use there, Daryl.
Yeah, shout out to ATR. I think it's really cool because it really, I was saying this yesterday as well, what's cool about the formulas, they really allow you to figure out, you know what, personality is a huge part of trading. So if you are someone who wants a little bit more volatility, a little bit more volatility, whatever you like, I'm sure you've always do that. I was going to say that there. It really does let you have, you know, as TI might say, whatever you like, you like. In terms of your trading style, I know, I love TI. There we go.
Bang.
Just got some out in Nvidia because, like I said, it's important to know here what type of trader you are, what type of style you have, and I think that's what's neat is if you are someone who wants those larger moves, if you're someone who wants a smaller move, it really helps you have those. I want to talk about Nvidia for a moment, if I may.
Go.
So NVDA, there's not always, I'll talk about my levels I like a lot, and these levels aren't always going to come into play. Man, did they ever come into play in Nvidia. And I started trusting them more because the first one held up beautifully. It was that 124.25. I had that because we had that wick basis that we had a little bit of support. I said, if we reject that, I'm taking it short. We did, I did, worked out. I said, let's see what other levels might come into play here, right? First one, or the next one was going to be 124.70. That did come into play. We just broke that, and I used that as the impetus for a couple longs and short opportunities. Then last but not least here, that 124.95. That also held as a rejection area. Now, why am I yapping about this? Because I think, you know, obviously I like to look at the book as well. These are just times that I'll take a look at what the stock's doing on the chart, but I will always use the book in terms of do I feel comfortable staying in the stock or leaving. And I think you have to trust yourself. I think you have to have the confidence and belief in yourself because it's really easy to get swayed. I was going to try to go long that 124.25 because of, you know, it was holding on the book for a while. That was a level I liked, and I knew the meeting had just ended. Maybe we'll have a pop up, but I didn't feel as good about that. I said, Adara, it's an unpopular opinion, but take the short, risk 10 pennies, risk into 70s, and get out. Why was in it? We didn't even get to 70. So I was pleased with punch. Obviously, I did leave a little bit early. I really wanted to see us break below 50s. We did. I got out. If we keep projecting 124, I think you guys know what I will do. And it will involve some purple triangles.
Yeah, man, there's a bunch of topping tail candles there, Dara, until 125. That's awfully bearish.
Yeah, it's a very, and I mean, look, it was previous support as well, which is why I liked it. And that 125, like I said, that was an area I was watching on the book earlier. We held it really beautifully in the pre, and we gave it up so swiftly, which is where I took that initial short that I think you have to trust yourself, and I think that's huge. And the only way to trust yourself is to take these, first, as Neil always says in his lesson of the day, take a look and say, hey, if I was in this trade, what would I do? Once you have a sense of that, once you have a better sense of that, then you can really trust yourself and trust your opportunities as a trader. I think both of those things are huge. If we break above this 25s here, I'll get out, but I did get back on the short because I liked what I saw. I don't love how quickly we hopped right above that 124, but you know, I believe in the trade, so I'm going to try to take it. Also, thank you to Fabian, the Chilean Nightmare, as Sharif calls him, for sending us this clip here. We do have a new clip of the podcast. Here, so I'm going to try to find a way to do this without doxing myself, as I am sometimes, you know, told. So let's zoom in. Here we go. They're talking. Here they are. They're chatting. Look at all of the new podcast setup there. Shout out to Fabian for sending us this. I think Nvidia is popping above my level, so I'm going to be out video of that. But thank you to Fabian for sending us that lovely thing. Check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast, guys. Great podcast. Lots of cool insights and opportunities. Nvidia back in here. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't have to leave yet. How are you doing?
Don't stop believing. Yes, get it, Eddie R. Come on, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I love how he shouted that out.
I love that.
Because we were singing up a storm 80s style today.
We were?
Ram. Are you going to be around after your weekend engagements next week?
What is going on?
You know exactly what's going on.
I don't. The weekend engagement. Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ram, are you going to be here next week? Okay, Ram, we want an 80s playback Friday next week, though, Ram. All right, so okay, see, here's what happens, guys. You'll be there Friday? Amazing. Ram's going to be here next Friday. The reason is Ramin and Fabian alternate coming in early, right? One of them comes in a little bit earlier to make sure everything's set up, so they alternate weeks. When Ram comes in early on Fridays, we play music. I'm requesting some 80s music. I think Neil will be okay with that too, no? You're going to be okay with some 80s? Oh, I'll message you after. I don't know if we're supposed to say. So, yeah.
It sounds so sketchy.
It's not sketchy. It's her information that I can't. I don't know if I can disclose it, right? Right. Good times on the floor over here, guys. Let's look at some of these small cap gappers seriously though, because I was joking about this one showing up earlier. CMAX, get him, Neil. Where is Neil going? He found out what's going on. Yes. Shout out to Eddie R. Go 80s. Maybe we'll go live or something early, and you guys can see us all jamming to 80s music. No, that's not gonna happen. No, seriously though, guys. CMAX, 97% here, and it did reject 4. Look, the range per candle is wild on this. I personally would like a dip trade to get in. I wouldn't be punching in at highs or even these midpoints over here. I would like something off the volume weighted average price or the 10 exponential. It's had a good, healthy amount of respect for the 20 exponential, the yellow line on my chart there. As you can see, all the prints, basically, after the bell, all of which held the 20 exponential. The only issue with this one is it was absolutely light on volume, as I noted earlier. But look at the volume candles really pick up. Higher, higher, higher. Each successive volume candle higher than its predecessor. So I'm going to be looking for something here. I want to say 340 to 330. We have that area top at 11 o'clock there, so that we could use that as possible support. We also have VWAP hanging out there. So let's load up CMAX on a trade screen over here. Let me just, yeah, I'm going to take off the dead one Apple over here, and we're going to put CMAX on there. By the way, let me give you the deets on this because I didn't give it to you. $13.75 million market cap. The volume on the day about 4.25 to 4 1/3. The float 2.7 million share float, and the short float, if any, let's load up that 9.4%. So almost 10% of that 2.7 milli. Is shorted. So that's a decent amount there. Definitely not negligible. I'm going to go set up said entry at 340 and come with me. What are you looking at?
Yeah, C-Max. Shout out. Get max profits there on C-Max. Definitely, we don't mean nickname it for it like a certain C-Pop yesterday that Sharif had a name for. But if there's any tickers that, either Sharif has a nickname for or not, go in the chat right now. If you want to see Sharif be vocal at the green screen.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you want to see Sean and Neil chat about those tickers, go in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. GME, AMD, AMC, NVDA, C-Max, C-Poop. I don't know, whatever tickers you like. You go in the chat right now. You hit them up. Also, I think sometimes there's something to be said for losing in a trade and letting it motivate you. I lost on my NVDL short, or not at, why NVDL? I've not been trading NVDL since a split.
No.
NVDA short. At first, it had me say NVDA. Because I wanted to risk into that 124.25. I said if we get any kind of move there, I did not like the viciousness at which we bounced, so I got out. But then we couldn't break above it. So I said, Adara, now that you've lost on that trade, now that you watched how the book moves, and you have that breakdown again, you have more confidence now. Adara, get back on the saddle. Get back right involved. So I did, and I took more shares, and I printed, and I'm pleased as punch. I was able to use that L to motivate me to take a larger share size now that I was more confident in how it would move. Thank you for the bang button there. I appreciate that. Like I said, I think sometimes I'm the type of person where if my back's against the wall, I tend to fight very, very hard, and I felt like that. Like I said, I literally was sitting on my bed staring at the ceiling being like, what's wrong with my trading lately? And having that moment allowed me to come back today, push harder, have my best day, both mentally and also P&L-wise that I've had in quite some time. Thank you. I appreciate the bang button there, but I'm just trying to be honest, and I really think what's cool about the show, and I really appreciate what Sean always says there about honesty. Shaunesty? I don't know. But shout out there. Also, yeah, okay, I deserve the fail.
Why? What's wrong with that, Katina, man? Shaunesty, it's okay.
Yeah.
Seanfidence.
I like confidence better. Yeah, I can't make puns with every word that sounds like Sean.
Really? You can't?
Okay, I will, but that's not the point is, should I? But anyways, here we are though. Sean is having a good time, much like Tesla, that one who was hanging out around 420 earlier, 194.20 more like. So interesting look there for Tesla previously. Sean with that little meme there. I have 15 pennies in the money on my most recent Nvidia short. I will be shorting every single pop. If we get above 124 with any kind of viciousness, I will be saying goodbye. I would like a lower low here in NVDA on a book basis. What would that be for me? I would like to see us break into 60s. That's the goal. Hey! Okay. Sorry, I'm very excited here. I'm really proud of the trading we've been doing. Just got a scalp with it.
Nice,
winter,
nice.
spring, summer, or fall, or a scalp. That's my favorite season. Apologize for the yelling, and thank you. I appreciate that, Sharif. How are you doing?
I'm shorting the dead one right now. It broke below the 20 exponential on the 5, and you just wet my beak right there. So let's see, the dead one on the way down, the future below 20,000. Now the future in negatory land. The future is now down 0.05%. Wow, we're going to set up the next beak wetter. Okay, it may not be long over here, and there it is. We take it super quick there on the dead one, Apple. It's not dead today, guys. The ATR is rising on this one. It's still 2% on the day. What really got me into this, Apple has been very respectful of the moving averages on the 5 today, and today was the first time it talked back to those moving averages, right?
I like that.
Yeah, and now the moving averages both are pointing down. Whether you're looking at the 20 or the 10 exponential, they're both looking down. We got to break decidedly of that 20 EMA, and that's why I said go short. All right, now I'm long CMAX over here on a dip trade, so we got to focus on that. And we're already in the money on this one, so I'm going to wet my beak here at 50 pennies if we can get it. We're showing already 48s. On the ask, it's going to have to obviously cross on the bid for me to get said beak wet. So we're going to look at this one. Now, let's talk about the CMAX trade because it was doing things. And you probably want to know why I got in here. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The volume weighted average price is right there. And this one was clearing VWAP by some distance. In addition to VWAP being there, look at this area high. This is not an IB high, guys. This is an 11 a.m. print that for whatever reason got into 3 1/3, then rejected. We clear it. On the second attempt over here at 11:55, we end up clearing that, what is that? I say 3 1/3. And then we got all the way to 412. So I said, look, this is a good looker here. Let's get in. We already wet our beak on some profits. We're already 10 pennies in the money on this one. Let's let this one run. CMAX 84.75%. It is the #1 gapper since the bell has rung. Since the bell has rung, not from 4 a.m. So nice move up here. We're already 15 pennies in the money. Let's let this name run. This is a small cap gapper du jour, baby. Decent look here for said name Adair.
Yeah, trying to short the Cybertruck. Well, I'm not trying. I'm in the short. But I say trying because Tesla is trying my patience. Okay, all jokes aside, I stand by the short. Like I'm basically, I'm ranging from flat to 8 pennies out of the money. Like it's not, too crazy of a trade. I'll feel much better about this if and when, yes, Tesla, I said when we break below 194, and then Tesla said, Adair, I'm going to bounce off 194. I was like, Tesla, why'd you do that? The point is I have no reason to leave. I have a stop, and I say stop because you guys know if I see anything I don't like in the book, I will run earlier. Yep. If we keep bouncing off 194, I'll just get out and take my losses there. My technical stop is 194.30 because that would be, a higher high, but I would rather just leave if we keep bouncing off 194. Let's see, it looks like I will be proven wrong here, but if we get back to another area and reject, I'd rather just get out of this clean slate and then get back in when I have other levels I like. That being said, I haven't left yet because I'm, like I said, basically flat on this. I just want, if we get like above 194.10 with the viciousness, that's where I think I will have to change my area. I think like I said, usually what I'll do is I'll have some kind of stop and then I'll have an area at which I will run for the hills. And if I see anything in the book I don't like, it's gotta go say bye. We're not gonna be in sync anymore. Also, I have to say we have our auction in 9 minutes. And for a second, we had that big move down in the market. I was like, did I miss the auction? We have not. It's in 9 minutes. And yeah, I don't know what this Hawk Twa thing is, but shout out to you, Ostentatious Production. What a market. I keep seeing things about that. I don't even know what that is. But interesting look here on Tesla. I think Tesla is probably going to leave me a little bit depressed here. Like I said, I want to watch just a little bit more at this 194.10 because I think we could be having a bit of a rejection. No plans to add here. Absolutely none. Zero. I just want to wait and see what we do because I don't. Yeah, okay, there we go. Did not like that bounce, and I'm out. So there we go. On that, I'm going to cancel my order because and I want to appreciate because Sharif is always shouting this out, and I think it's a good thing to remember. If you don't cancel the orders, then they can fill without you.
Yes.
And I did not want to add to Tesla at that level, so I was like, make sure this gets out. I knew this was kind of a risky trade. We bounced a little bit off VWAP. Happy I tried it and ready to get back in if we get back below that 9 exponential moving average.
Oh, whoa. Was that a wick shimmy?
Oh, it was?
I'm going to have to charge you a licensing fee.
How much is the licensing?
Well, we're going to have to discuss it.
Okay. Can I pay it in advance or do I have to pay each time I do it?
You can do it in installments.
I like
This can be in a firm type thing, buy now, pay never. You know what I mean? Like, all right, guys, I want to talk about CMAX over here. Maybe I wasn't clear enough when I said that there's a 4 a.m. since 4 a.m. print and a since 9:30 a.m. print. Ram, I want to show them what I'm talking about over here. This column over here, change percentage. This populates from 4 a.m. onwards, okay? This column over here, change percentage since open, this populates from 9:30 onwards. So there are two different percentages. Now, CMAX, the biggest gapper on the day since the bell rang. I hope I made that very clear for that individual in there in the chat that didn't understand. This column is more important to me because it's more recent and it's showing me what the bigger volume has thought about this, not that 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. volume. I know the small cap gappers move during that time, but this is more relevant for my purposes. So change and change since open, two different things. Now, let's talk about the CMAX trade. Got long at 340, as you saw there. Went my beak at 360. The last out at 360. Alas, though, I did not hold the entire thing, and this one's going to 375. So great entry there for me on CMAX. Not enough size to really benefit from the entire move, but it's still going. Again, reason I got in here, super simple. Volume weighted average price dip, conflating with the IB high, not IB high, 11 a.m. high. For whatever reason we got into that level, I said, great, there's a whole lot of resistance at this level. I just wonder if that resistance would flip to support. Last it did, and that's why we got those red triangles there on the board. So we'll see what we get with this one. NXL, we were really singing the praise of NXL earlier today. Oh, it's a multi-day runner. It's been doing this, that, and the other. Wow, that's a Christmas tree retracement right there. Shout out to Randy. 405 HOD double top there. Broke down below VWAP like it didn't even matter. It didn't even catch its breath at the VWAP. It didn't do anything really other than just tank. And it continued to do that subsequent to the break of VWAP at around noon. It is now breaking below this area consolidation top. Look at this area over here. Since the bell rung to when we broke out on volume at 11:15, this 275 was a decent area of support. Now, resistance. Now, it held it for a little bit over here, so that flipped back into support, but it was not good enough for this one to stay above 275 or not strong enough. The buyers just were not there, and now it's broken down into 2 2/3, maybe on its way into 2.5. To go red on the day, it's going to have to break below that $2.27 area. NXL, multiple good days in a row for this one, but definitely selling off now. WENA is WENA. This has been an interesting one, okay? Here's why I say that. Because a lot of my breakout trades on these small cap gappers have a lot to do with whether they're above or below VWAP. This one would have been great earlier on in the pre-market to trade this using that system of VWAP and being above it, taking out a breakout trade. But now, since the bell has rung, this all of a sudden switched from a trend trade with higher highs and higher lows into a very much consolidative trade. Now, here's what's unique about it. It's flipping its area of support into resistance and area of resistance into support. Here's what I mean by that. When it broke down below the volume weighted average price at around 940, it stayed that way until about 1040. So an hour, it stayed below VWAP. And then it did the exact opposite. From 1040 to this candle over here at 1110, it bounced off VWAP. And now it's doing the exact opposite of that, what it did initially, using VWAP now as a level of resistance. So it's a bit of a tougher trade because you don't know exactly when it's going to break above or below VWAP. So you got to, take a risk, gamble in a sense to see if this is going to actually hold on to your level or not. But at least you help narrow the odds a little bit by knowing what it's doing. Anyway, $4 VWAP, line in the sand as resistance now. If it breaks out on a closing basis, we'll take it long. If it rejects it, I'm going to see with the big kahunas how much it's going to cost me to get short. WENA, interesting name, 133%, well off the highs though at 511 a day.
Hopefully you have a Weena and Wena, should you take it. Or a Winna and Wena. I don't know, words. Also, I tried 2 NVDA shorts, was not profitable in either of them, but I'm proud that I tried and I'm really proud of how I exited. Let me chat about them. Well, so you guys know, or maybe you don't remember earlier, I was talking about that 123.30 break. I said, when 123.30 breaks, it's gonna be amazing, blah, 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 blah. NVIDIA said, nah, I will bounce. Earlier, but then we came back to that 123.30. I should have waited way longer to enter. I basically saw we were there, got involved, Did not work out, got out 123.50s. Then we had this wick rejection here, wick up into 70s and reject. I tried another short, did not work out. Lost like 20 pennies, I think, in the first short, couple pennies in the second short. It's all good. Still up on this game, still up on the day, and still ready to make some more shmoney. How are your trades going, Sean? There you go. Long Nvidia 123 is Sean, so please just punch for Sean there. Yeah, I mean, and what's really cool too is, Sharif was saying this earlier as well, you know, depending on how you trade, people can be in different directions and still be printing. You can take your scalp shorts, you can take your nice longs off levels. So I want to shout out Sean there for his fabulous trade and for the always instilling confidence in all of us over here. So yeah, I'm looking at Nvidia here. We have the auction coming in 2 minutes. Let's get the deets here on this auction. It hasn't come out yet, but we're gonna get the 5-year note auction. That will be coming soon. Let's see what else is going on here. Michael Warren here is voting for Micron for us to take a look at in the afternoon show, but make sure you have your exclamation point, join, space, $sign. Oh, Micron, not normally when I trade, but this VWAP could be an interesting little rejection. I don't know if I want it on my side chart, but I want to keep an eye on it. One name that has been on my side chart that, you know, I will be keeping an eye on is going to be CMG. Because we are below the 90 MA. It's one of my favorite levels. We do have these wicks up here, mind you, so I want to be cognizant of that. This could be a long. I want to watch this for a little bit longer, but I do like this 75 area short. We also have not really wicked above this 80s. If I risk this really tight, although the spread is kind of large in a way that makes me not really want to do that, I think this could be an interesting short. I'm okay with taking it into 50s, like 20 pennies. That risking like 5 pennies, I can totally live with that. Let's wait and see here what we get at this 90 MA rejection, but this is an interesting look to me, and I think I can live with that. I just don't, this 8-cent spread is a little bit dicey for me right now. Also Tesla, there's someone in the chat saying, oh, like, you know, why is short Tesla one of the strongest stocks of the day? I agree, and I want to explain why and how I did it. So basically, I got involved here. We did have, at the time, yeah, so yes, we did actually have these wick rejections here into 194.40s. That would be a lower high. We had some lower lows here. We bounced off VWAP, but I thought to dare risk it pretty tight, try to get the short. It looked nice in the book for the time being. I was initially going to risk into 194.40, but my rule is always, if I see something I don't like on the book, run for the hills screaming like your pants are on fire, which is what I did in Tesla. The second we got that pop into 194 teens with the viciousness, I got out. So I lost like 10 pennies in this trade. I just want to explain that Tesla short again. I know it's really strong on the day. Shout out to anybody long Tesla. I was trying to play it a different way. Didn't work out, but as long as you have a plan, you're all good to go there. Shout out to Katina, the Katina man, / Sean, and his light bulb moment.
195 out.
195 out for Tesla, for Sean, for Tesla. So shout out to Sean there. I'm still looking at CMG and the place to be. I think this could be a short. You know how we have like Nvidia as the monster and everything? I think maybe like CMG could be the spicy one.
Yeah? I didn't even look at CMG.
Oh, we don't have our auction yet, but we're just waiting for it to come in. It is 1 p.m., guys. So be aware that the auction reaction could be coming very soon. Also, AMD rejecting 90 MA. Don't mind if I do. Let's risk into this wick here, 75s. We're at 60s. I have no qualms risking 13 pennies. I would love to see what we do here into I'm not going to get my fill, but that's going to be 120. It's like 50 pennies for reward for like 13 cents risk. I can live with that. I'm not going to get it. Looks like we are selling off a little bit here on this auction, waiting to see those results come in for the 5-year note. So let's see what we get here. Well, we'll get what we get. We don't get upset on the auction results. Let's see. We're not getting that here. I will let you guys know if I see anything on the auction. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Micron for Rob EV, asking me a very interesting question. He's like, look, man, what are your thoughts on MU? Surely it has to be a short when earnings announced after the big run of recent. I don't know. I wouldn't look. You never really know what's going to happen with earnings plays, and that's why people stay away from them. But look, I wouldn't stand in front of the chips at the moment. I know chips have been weak this week, but a week is a very small window to look at over the past, you know, however long the chips have been running, over a year now. So I'd wait and then decide what to do with Micron after that. I think it's kind of risky, you know, getting in and trying to have a bias before earnings. But hey, do whatever works for you, Rob. And I personally just would wait till after the earnings announcement. All right, guys, right back into the high of day goes Amazon. Amazon's been awfully strong today with no catalyst. 193.04. It's up What is this? It's up 3.5%. Only Tesla has done better than Amazon on the day. 193.04. It's right back there right now. Ram. Here it is. $2 trillion valuation for the first time for Amazon. Ram, you're not showing them the $2 trillion valuation, but here it is. Wednesday becoming the 5th company in the U.S. to surpass that level as investors pile into the technology-related stocks. That optimism. Ram says $2 trillion just not cutting it for her, man. She needs more, especially with Apple, Nvidia, and the softie, all over $3 trillion. Amazon, a cool $2 trillion. Get out of here. No, I know, right?
It's not enough for me.
Right, it's not enough. It's not enough. Well, look, Ram expects high, high standards there for Ram.
That's big things from her company.
There you go. No, for real though, Amazon at day's high right now. It's been an absolute love affair with the 10. I tried to short this earlier at that 191.50. That's $1.50 ago, and I actually am positive on this trade. Funny enough, because I ended up taking a bit of a bigger beak wetter than I did on my stop. But yeah, look at this. I obviously had the wrong idea on that. Fantastic move up. 191.50 was that area top, and that was $1.50 ago here. So good look for Amazon. Apple now. Interesting range trade starting to establish itself here on Apple. This 213.25. This was an area where we kept bouncing off earlier in this consolidative phase here before 11:30 when we start trending up again. We found a bit of a base there at 213.25. We'll have to see what Apple wants to do in kind of no man's land, off highs, definitely off lows. We'll see what Apple does. But Nvidia continues to sell off. Lower lows, lower highs. It is downward channel by any kind of definition there. Now we'll draw this one parallel to it. And as you can see there, touch of lower highs, lower lows. What's your look at there?
Yeah, so my look is I tried. Please vote, though. Also, whatever ticker you like, whatever tickers your fancy, which is just such a fun way of combining a Sharifism and this vote thing. Yeah. Go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. Maybe it's Nvidia, maybe it's Tesla, maybe it's Amazon, maybe it's Meta, maybe it's AMC, maybe it's GME. I don't know. You guys know what tickers you like. You go in the chat right now, you type viciously, and you put it in the chat. Speaking of typing in the chat, thank you so much to Day Trader Cut for putting the auction in there. I was just going to type it, and then you dropped it in there, so thank you so much to you. We did get 4.331% versus the 4.553%, so slightly lower than the previous number. Thank you to Day Trader Cut. Not seeing much of a reauction here from these mega caps. Took like less than 10 pennies on Amazon. AMD. Shout out to the Amazonian, I guess, Obi. Did not mean to say Amazon. I'm an AMD. I do not like us bouncing at 156.40, which is why I got out. Also, I'm eyeing the white whale, which is Nvidia. Now, we do have a bit of a bottoming tail candle here. We could push higher. I'm willing to take it long. I have no qualms about going long. But you guys know how I feel about that 123.30 area. I think if we break that, Quadunk Nation. And you know what? We have been below 70s for so long. I'm going to take this short. I'm going to take it short, and I'm going to enjoy this short. And until I don't anymore. So where's this wick here? If we get above 80s, I'm getting out, risking about 30 pennies. Believe me, though, I want to make quite a few more pennies than that. Because I'm looking, just for my breakdown alone, if I get it, that 123.30, which was the area that was so spicy as support earlier, a couple times now that I think if it breaks, when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. Rock-a-bye, baby. Nvidia, go to the downside. Down. We'll see how that goes. Vote for your tickers, guys. As we said, please do that. Nvidia trying to test my patience and my sanity over here. Still below the 90 MA. Like I said, though, if we had those rejections, I felt like I owed it to myself to attempt this trade and then just kind of scalp it out. So we'll see. I don't even know if we'll get to scalp it out. Happy I tried. Also happy got out of AMD because that wouldn't have worked either way. So if you don't have confidence in a trade, don't take it. I do have confidence in this Nvidia. It's whether or not I stay confident, because if it wicks me out, I got to leave. Let's see, though, NVDA. Hopefully this will be a big NVD day.
Stay ready so you don't get ready.
Stay ready so I can get ready. And
you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you're not required to re-ready yourself,
if I'm already ready, then I don't have to get ready. But hopefully we get greeny on NVDA.
I like it. Greedy.
How's the Apple going?
Where it's decent. I mean, it's not like a $10, $15 Catino winner here, but we're looking to get short. I saw a couple of green candle retracement to the high side. I said, look, this looks like just a momentary move up in a pullback, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I put my L up on top of the break of this crest, so if we do break 91s, we'll get out there. But I'm looking to wet my beak in the high 50s. Not the biggest position over here on AAPL. I've got to tell you, it's kind of like in no man's land a little bit here, and which is kind of, it's a 50-50 trade, I got to tell you. So we'll keep an eye on that. 195 again for TSLA. It's been up here before, obviously rejected at exactly that $0.50. It's not able to take 195 though on a really, I don't want to say a closing basis because it did close above 195 over here, but that was quite fleeting, right? We dropped right below, tested 193, and then got up right again. We're above that level right now, 195. We're about 40 pennies off high a day, and Tesla is having one of the better days, guys, and I am going to be waiting this week for a Tesla 200 touch. If we get it, we all saw what it did last time. It touched 200, it did reject. I think that it may set up for an interesting trade there if we do get it, so we'll keep an eye on that. TSLA, awfully strong on the day. No news, though, coming in for Tesla. I'm just going to make sure that there's no new catalyst that came in today. For Tesla that could help move this. I mean, there was Stifle. They announced a $265 price target on the Cybertruck, which is not bad, right? Initiated a buy on Stifle as well, as reported by Benzinga, so shout out to them. We'll keep an eye out for both. Okay, some weakness here coming in on Meta, on Microsoft, on goggles. We'll keep an eye out on that. The future still above 19,950, so not much for me to talk about. Let's flip back to some of these small cap gappers, see what they're up to. CMAX now breaking down, so I was happy I was able to weasel a trade there because now it is broken down below the volume weighted average price and trying to defend 3. So we'll see if 3 ends up being a level of importance here for CMAX. If I had to guess, I say yes, it is. There are a lot of topping tail candles into 3 earlier on. Once we broke 3, and we got into 3 1/3, we got back down into 3 and defended it. So this could be an interesting level if you're looking for a range play. I wouldn't take a breakout trade south of VWAP on the small cap gappers, but the range definitely a possibility here. It looks like I will get stopped out of the dead one, AAPL, as it moves back into mid-80s. If it does cross 91, that's it. We're going to lose about 21 pennies on that move up on AAPL, Adair, if it crosses.
Yeah, AAPL, hopefully you get to the bite on some profits there. I already see the little beak. Or yeah, never mind.
No. I'm out of the money here.
Oh,
yeah, it's all good. It's all
but I want to talk about Nvidia, and I also want to address this comment here from the Piper. I will say, in all honesty, I think you confidence. I know it sounds so silly, but it's like if you tell yourself, "I believe in myself. I believe in my trades," it really does make a world of difference. I'm a really optimistic person. I know I'm always saying, my mindset's great, and I think that helps. Like even when, I'm saying I'm down to the day, sometimes maybe I am. Today I'm actually, like I said, happy with the trades today. But I think it really depends also on what mindset you're in. If you're the type of person that likes to trade, like, your life's depending on like your back's against the wall, you can do that too, but just make sure that you always believe in your trades. And I think if you wait, if you're patient, if you only take trades that are really, making you hungry, if you have that hunger for them, I think that helps as well with these Nvidia trades. Not every trade was profitable. There were a lot of doozies, but every trade I took was a trade I was confident in. And I took it with the poise and with the ability to try to conquer it with that confidence, and I had my level. As I said, and I think one thing too is being confident entering, but also being confident when you leave. If I see something I don't like, I have to trust that I don't like that and get out. That's how I was able to get out of this Nvidia short relatively unscathed. Took some profit at the lowest wick that we got here, then got out when we pushed above 70s. So I think that's really key. I think confidence starts from inside, as cheesy as I know that sounds. I just wanted to shout that out to you, the Piper. Thank you for your participation in the chat. And yeah, I just think it just starts from being like, why am I not confident? How do I get there? And how could it impact the trading? I know it doesn't affect the outcome, but it affects your mindset. And I think your mindset can affect the outcome. And I'm going to stop ranting about confidence now. How are you doing?
All right. I'm not doing anything. I'm looking at Oracle over here. I mean, not Oracle, Snow. I have no catalyst on this. This makes no sense to me. I'm looking here, and there's nothing that's coming in to justify this insane move on Snowflake. It's up 5% without a catalyst. What is happening there, Katina, man? Oracle, this is what I'm getting for this entry. I don't know what the hell this is. Oracle announces general availability of HeatWave Gen AI. Are they collabing with Snowflake? Why is it tagging Snow?
Maybe sympathy? I don't know.
Maybe, I guess. Wow, this is an unabated to the quarterback type move over here, though. Unreal. 130.47. And I know people were talking. Yeah, he's the best. Shout out to the Katina man. Yeah, he loves the Cowboys. Well, I'm not going to say why he loves the Cowboys because he keeps winning against them.
They are my dad's favorite team.
They are your dad's favorite team? Okay, so that's fair. I thought you were just trolling me because you beat us every time, so you're so happy about playing with the Cowboys. I was like, where's this guy, bro? Shout out to the Katina man. All right, we wet our beak there on some profits on Apple. We did get some out there. It didn't stop me out, so I'm going to leave my order the exact same way it is. We got a nice little winner there. But Snowflake, unreal. Sorry to kind of jump between two things here, guys. Snowflake, an unbelievable move. I have nothing to account for this. It's up 5%. It's printing high day right now. It hasn't broken the 10 exponential once since 9:45.
Oh my
I didn't do that for effect. I was trying to actually look. It's printing high a day as we speak. A new one right now, 130.58, 5.12%. Unbelievable move for Snowflake. I saw you guys mention Snow in the chat. I didn't have eyes on it. I'm sorry. That's my mistake. What a move. What's the volume on this today? Decent, man. Almost 5 million shares. It's a $130 name, so that's nothing to sneeze at there. Fantastic move. But you know what is a fantastic move? Amazon. I can't believe what I'm seeing today on the Zon. The Zon is absolutely flying to the high side. It is now at 194. It's broken whatever that 192.70 or whatever that previous high was. This is all-time highs as we look at it right now, over 4%, almost 4.1. Is having trouble with the whole dollar level, 194. Nothing that, obviously it's a blue sky setup at this point. There's never been higher highs. So you're going to have to use, some just general rules here as to where to expect resistance, whole dollar levels, et cetera, et cetera. But keep your eye on that. Amazon is squeezing. There goes 194, guys. 194.14. This thing is really going here. Every higher high we print now is an all-time high on Amazon. Unbelievable move today. I was just talking about Snowflake absolutely respecting the 10 exponential and the 5. Take a gander of AMZN there. Absolute respect as well. It didn't even touch the yellow line once. That's how strong this name is. Another high a day right there, all-time high, 194.17 a day. Unreal.
Yeah, these markets are unreal today. That is for sure. Nvidia, I took a short, took a cool 2 pennies on this. Basically what happened was, you got 2 penny club. But no, I'm joking. Basically, I was just taking long off the 124 bounce, but we couldn't get back to 124.25. Why does that matter to me? Because that was a massive resistance area earlier. And that was where we had this little chop and turn before our most recent fall into near 123s. So the fact that we can't even get there, to me, that's a lower high. That's why I tried to take the short. We were a little bit too, sunny for my liking, so took a couple pennies, got out. All good there, all good in the hood. If we keep bouncing off 124, I'll take it long. If we keep rejecting below, take it short. You got to be willing to go either direction once you have levels you like. That's the look on Nvidia. But Tesla, man, Tesla, if you break below 90 MA, I will short you. If you bounce off this beautiful little area of previous resistance at 194.60, which it looks like you want to do, which is also the 90 MA, I will go long. You got to be open to all sides of the equation. As Sharif said earlier, I want to shout this out. That's one of the great things about being a day trader. Any direction.
Yeah.
You can really flip-flop. I want to shout out Sharif's Apple trade there. And yeah, so happy to be here in this lovely, exciting little market here. I want to also shout out Elon in the chat saying trading hungry like a wolf emoji. Shout out to another classic 80s song, Hungry Like a Wolf.
I don't know that one.
Duran Duran?
No, I'm not a fan of Duran Duran though. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, it's a good song.
Yeah. I might check it out.
Shout out there to Sharif. Tesla is really Teslaing my patience here because I think I want to take this either short or long, but it really needs to hold 60s for me to go long, and it needs to break below the 90 MA for me to go short. Tesla, I'm good either direction. Just gotta let me know. Gotta open those Cybertruck doors.
Honestly.
And open the door to my heart. 35 more minutes to vote, guys. Whatever ticker you want to look at, ! Join, space, $, that ticker. What else is going on here? FTX ascending triangle, says Tampanda. Let's see if we can express deliver. I know this is usually my Amazon joke, but let's see if we can express deliver anything in this FTX ascending triangle. Okay. This is a nice look. The only thing I will say here, though, for FTX is we do have lower lows. We're bouncing off VWAP, mind you, but we have lower lows, and looks like a slightly lower high here. Bouncing off the 90 MA, though, since that most recent pop into it around 1250, so not a bad look. Yeah, I will say I see a bull flag if we want to start from this 930. So from the open, I see definitely a bull flag. I totally see what you mean here there, Panda, with regards to this looking bullish. If I ignore this previous pop and just look at the bull flag starting at the open, I think that's a nice look. Let's see if we pop up from this bounce around 292s and push even higher. Spread on this is actually not bad. It is about 11 pennies. Definitely, I'm sure, better than Spreada, which I'm sure has a spread that is yucky, in a word. Also, Nvidia, seeing a little bit of a topping tail candle, not really sure here. I also want to look at CMG before I pass it back over to the mustachioed man to my right. Speaking of bull flags, I see one on CMG. From this 1110 bounce, we bounce up, a little bit of chop, a little bit of churn, a little bit of chop, a little bit of churn. Let's see where we go. We have slightly higher lows from this most recent bounce here at 1250. Wait, are you and FedEx on the same timetable, CMG? You guys look pretty similar. Let's see what happens here. Also, IWM is at VWAP in a way that I find deeply fascinating. I took one red trade on this earlier, and it actually would have been green had I had a normal stop loss. So let's see. Oh, okay, I want to take this IWM short. How are you doing?
Good, you do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm looking at Tesla here, a bit of weakness coming in. I'm unsure how to play this. I'm keeping an eye on this area over here, 194.40. We had a consolidation area top where we weren't breaking through, so I wonder if it acts as resistance now. I wanted to go long here, but I want confirmation of the touch on that level and then another bounce. We'll see if we get it there. It's also the 10 exponential on the 5, but I was really alerted by this consolidation area top. I'm absolutely printing on Apple now, well over 20 pennies in the money. It's topping, it rolled. It rolled in the exact same way I thought it was doing. Oh, Tesla? I have Apple, Katina, man.
Tesla fell.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I was just about to load up Apple. I was bringing in the side charts. This is what I was looking at. Wow, Apple, go down. I'm going to cover here at 35s because that's where that's where it is. All right, now we're covering right there on Apple. Very happy with this trade. It was a rounded top. The rounded top is what alerted me to this. It started doing these rounded. Look, thank you, Katina, man, for that. Basically, it made a move down, then you got a 2-candle retracement. To me, that was basically just a pullback on a long. Now, this is a pull up on a short. So I said, all right, my line in the sand is going to be the break of 90 pennies. And I got in 70. So I risked 20 to make basically, what did I get? I made like 40 pennies. Not bad, 2 to 1. Tease. So I could have waited a little bit longer, I think. I think I covered this one a little too quickly. I was covering here because of the third of a dollar support that we had there, but in essence, we could have waited at least to the whole dollar or that volume weighted average price, but decent move here down for Apple as it does the rounded top and lets me print. Now, back to another one that's not tanking, but on the way down is TSLA. And I would have been in money in this one if I had punched short. It's like 50 pennies now in them. Wow, a Tesla on the way down, breaking 194, below the 20, below the 10, below the whole dollar. Where does Tesla find support? I'm going to be looking for 193. And the reason I'm looking for 193, Ram, is because there is, number one, this area trough over there, this doji candle that held us up above 193. And by the time we get down there, we may have the volume weighted average price jiving with 193. Right now, VWAP on Tesla nearer the quarter dollar than the whole dollar. So number one, we'll see. Well, right now, it looks like it wants to hold the 20. So it wants to make me look like a fool. Right back above the 20 exponential. We'll wait on this one, though. A possible double top. I mean, I guess I'm not going to really call double tops on a very strong day like this. It'll have to break down below that neckline really and on a closing basis. But, yeah, nice little retracement for Tesla. Q's right shoulder formed. Might get 100-point move. Okay, let's have a look at the NQ. Same thing as the Q's. Right shoulder formed. Are you talking about head and shoulders? So I don't see a head and shoulders. Maybe we can load up the Qs. What time frame are you looking at, Turin? Let me know what time frame you're looking at so we can kind of look at the same thing you're looking. I see a possible double top maybe up the Qs at 480.75, thereabouts, right? But you need a neckline break in order to get confirmation there. So let me know what you're looking at. But yeah, interesting day today.
Yeah, I was not able to get my IWM short, but man, oh, vote please, guys. Please vote for your tickers. I know we remind you a lot, but we really need people to vote. Go in the chat right now. Vote for whatever ticker of your choice, whatever tickers are fancy. IWM, SPY, maybe the Qs. Maybe you like NXL. Maybe you like the small cap gappers like Sharif.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you like that MAXN. Maybe you like CMX. I'm just listing random small cap tickers. Please, though, seriously, guys, please vote. We love having a democratic system, but a democratic system requires that people vote. So let your voice be heard and express your democratic rights as a Trader TV viewer. I don't know. Please vote, guys, for your tickers. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. I tried to take the IWM short. IWM said, nope, Adara, you weren't fast enough. Would have been a great look, but then I said, if we stay below the 9 EMA, I will short again. So I did, or not again, I never got involved that time I wanted to. Shorted earlier, this actually would have worked, but I set my stop like way too tight, so it's all good there. Let's see what happens. I have a larger-ish position because I feel like we can spread out the little bird feed for the ducks to wet their beaks. Oh, I like that analogy. So let's see if the bird speed works out here. We're gonna be getting some of this out 7 pennies in the money. I know that's kind of up. There we go. No, that's a little bit lighter, but we still have 2/3 of the position in. If we break above 74s, I am out, but it looks like IWM just maybe not want to do that. If I come back to 60s and reject again, I'll add to this position. But right now, I would just like to nibble at the profit like a little mouse nibbling on cheese. We're gonna take out another portion of this position here at 52s. Man, would I love to break lower. I think there's clear support here at 27s. I will be out by that point. I don't even know if IWM will move that much or IW move that much. So let's see what it does. Also, I tried to take a short in Nvidia here. If I'd punched everything out where I took out half the position, it would have worked out. Instead, I think I ended up slightly profitable on it, but basically we had that move down. We kept projecting that 80s level, which is what I like. So I got back involved in the short. I think there's some scalp opportunities here, but it's literal pennies, so it's a little bit, harder for me to explain the levels. That being said, we are seeing higher lows here on a wick basis. We are still bouncing off that 123.50 area. Like I said, I think if that breaks, the cradle will fall. Rockabye baby, Nvidia to the downside. That would be the look. DJT taking some more profits here, says Kevin. DJT in the place to be, perhaps? Let's take a look and see what place DJT is in. Also, CMG falling off a little bit here as well to the bottom of that support area, 65.50. That could be a quick long. Yeah, wow, DJT. Talk about a bit of a rounded bottom here, bit of an opposite V-shaped retracement. Great look, trying to push higher here. Let's see if it can get 36s. Shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan. How are you doing over here today?
I'm good. I was talking to Turin, this individual in the chat, about what pattern he saw, and he says he sees a complex head and shoulders. A pattern that I didn't actually know about. So I did a quick Google search here. So the complex head and shoulder, this version has multiple peaks on one or both sides of the central peak, which is the head. So instead of a clean left and right shoulder, you might see a double or even triple left shoulder or right shoulder. That just sounds way too complicated, but thank you, Turin, for letting me know. I didn't even know this pattern existed. We'll have to definitely look and do a bit more of a deeper dive on this one. We didn't do the lesson at one, did we?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot.
All good. Wait till you're done your position.
Oh, I'm done. I can do it now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just yap for a bit until you set up. I've been looking at Meta all day, guys, and Meta's been in a bit of a, let's call it a range. Since 10:15 this morning when we got into that, when we broke above 510. We're right there right now. We're at 511, 510.99. Every single print subsequent to 10:10 a.m. has been above the closing print from yesterday, which is 510 low 60s. So I'm very interested here on a possible range trade on the spreada, META. It's been decent here. So let's load up. Where is my Meta? Oh, I don't even have it up. Well, that's no good. Can't trade it if we don't have it up. So let's load up Meta over here. I'm going to go along Meta at these levels, and I'm going to put a break through, through the break of the low of the closing print. So right now, getting away from me, and this is what Meta does. Sorry, Dara.
Okay.
This is what Meta does. It gets away from me all the time, so I'm going to have to chase it, and by chasing it, I get a crappy entry. That's just the nature of the beast, so that's what I'm going to do there. What's up?
Yeah, we're going to do the lesson now. Also, just this question from Tam Panda, is your guys' bias still long, or are you looking for tops now? I'm always looking for scalp. So anything that's scalpy, I will take in either direction. I usually, though, I'm a bit more short biased. Right now, though, Tesla looking like a decent long. We did have that bounce at that 193.80 on a wick basis. I mean, yeah, you're in a long right now, so I guess it really depends on the name is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm good there.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to address that question. Also, shout out to, Sharif there for that meta trade. Spreada, though, was kind of mean, so you get the beta, Spreada.
Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens. No big deal.
I'm just, I'm always shouting out Spreada because it's
Spreada.
But yeah, literally. But let's talk about this lesson, ATR for smarter risk management. Because let's face it, stop loss orders can be the bane of your existence sometimes. They can feel like the enemy, can feel like they're fighting against you instead of what they're supposed to do, which is sensibly work for you, work on your behalf. But if you can transform your relationship with these stocks and making them, or not stocks, with your stops into making them a helpful little buddy, a friend, a useful tool. Today, we're going to talk about how the ATR could be your stop loss friend instead of your stop loss nemesis and help you place some informed exits and manage risk in an effective way. So let's talk about the stop loss struggle. It can be really hard to do because you can place orders in a bad way. It's so crucial for risk management, but it depends on how close. If you set your stop loss too tightly, you can get shaken out by really normal price fluctuation. If it's a little too loosey-goosey, then you risk a bigger loss than you need. So it's really, really tricky. Of course, it's going to depend on the stock, which we're going to talk about today. But how can you make this relationship a bit better? ATR to the rescue, like a superhero. So let's bring ATR into play. This is your intraday volatility meter, and it can help you with your stop losses. And we're going to talk about how you can use it for smarter stop loss placement. So first, you have to understand the ATR. Remember, we talk about ATR all week here. ATR is reflecting the market's typical daily price movement. So a high ATR will suggest a more volatile market. A low ATR suggests a calmer, smoother, more chill market. But let's talk about your stop loss formula. So here's the magic. So you want to multiply an ATR by the factor, for example, 1 or 2, based on your risk tolerance, and add or subtract that from your entry price to set your stop loss. We talked about using ATR to set your entry and exit price yesterday. Now we're going to talk about using it to set your stop loss. So in a long position, maybe for buying, you're going to have your entry price minus your ATR multiplied by the factor based on your risk tolerance. Then your short position for selling, you're going to do maybe entry price plus the ATR multiplied by the factor. So you want to multiply the ATR and the factor first, then have that addition or a subtraction there. So long positions, entry price minus the ATR and the factor multiplied. For the short, you want to do the entry price plus the ATR and factor multiplication. Now let's talk about, one example here in action. So let's say you've bought a stock at $20. The ATR is 2. And you choose a factor of 1 because you want a more moderate stop loss. You want to risk a little bit less, want to keep it a little bit tighter. So for your long position for the stop loss, let's say you have your $20 entry point minus the 2 times 1. So that is going to be, if you use your bed math, shout out to Sharif for doing that. You want to multiply your 2 and your 1 first to get your 2. So 20 minus 2 is going to be $18. That is where your stop loss is going to be. Now volatility will matter because let's say you buy a stock at $40, but you have $1 ATR. So let's say you use the same factor of 1. You want a bit more of a moderate conservative stop loss. You get your $40 entry point minus the $1 times 1 equals 1 for 39. So here the stop loss is going to be closer to the lower volatility, which reflects a more calm, subdued, tranquil market where the price swings are going to be a little bit smaller. If you have a larger price swing, or if you've got a stock like a Tesla or Nvidia, you might want to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room because those guys can run and they can fall with the viciousness. Let's talk about the benefits of ATR stops here. What about a more realistic buffer? The stop loss is going to consider the normal market fluctuations within the expected daily range, which prevents you from getting shaken out by temporary price movements. Let's also talk about adaptable protection, because you want to be protected, but do you want to be really protected? Do you want to be a little bit less or more protected? Let's wait and find out, because the stop loss will adjust to different volatility levels. Let's say you're me and you risk like 2 pennies. You can adjust that with this in mind, have a little bit, maybe less of a factor. Or if you're Sean, you want to make the bigger moves, you have the confidence to make the bigger moves, maybe you want a bit larger of that multiplier there. So I think that's really worth noting here as well.
Exactly.
Let's also talk about as well peace of mind, which is kind of elusive as a trader, but something you want to try for. Peace of mind if you know you have a defined exit strategy based on data, it'll help you reduce anxiety and stick to your trading plan. I was saying this in the chat earlier today as well. I was having a bit of a conversation with someone in the chat. You know, obviously confidence cannot improve the outcome, but it can improve your mindset, which can help improve your outcome. So if you're a little bit calmer, you can have a little bit more of a chill approach to your trading. More like the winds of, I was doing Sharif's winds of change. Yesterday I came and Sharif's doing winds of change dance, and I was like, are those waves? And then we had
we had like an entire discussion.
Yeah, we had a weirdly long conversation about how to represent the wind. It was, yeah, shout out to Sharif.
That was a good time. That was a good time, sir.
But you also want to remember, guys, remember, ATR is a historical measure. It's not going to be a guarantee. And you also want to consider other factors like support or resistance levels for additional confirmation before placing your stop loss. You might want to experiment with some different factors like support and resistance for additional confirmation before placing your stop loss. And you really want to find the stop loss distance that best suits your risk tolerance and trading style. So try a couple different things, because you never know until you try. So there's a really funny comment I saw rolling in. Okay, Joshua Lee Mallory, beware of the artsy person turned trader with the little laughing cowboy emoji. Yeah, shout out to that. I mean, I think it's a little bit fun. You can become a little bit of a chartist when you have a bit of an arts background or you see the things in a little bit of a different light. So I saw that comment and I had to laugh, got a kick out of that. Also, I'm not going to get kicked out of, I'm very appreciative of the little beak wetters you have.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to some negatory guy in the chat. I'm probably going to block him in a second. But this beautiful defend here of the level that we talked about, this was that line in the sand on META. It was basically yesterday's closing print. Everything since 10:15 has absolutely printed above this. So I said to myself, look, man, if 10:15, it's been defending that since that time, get long. Got long at, but I had to chase it. I definitely wanted a better price, which is really frustrating about Meta, and that's why I kind of slammed the desk there. But we got a big winner on it. So decent, happy with this one. Got in at 5, 10, 17. Took everything out at 75. So great look, happy with this one. But it's still heading to the high side, and Meta still has more in the range. I mean, I see could make all the way up to 513 before real resistance there. As you can see, it's been over 513 multiple times. It was actually well above that. It got 513.81. So META, even though it's a range, only up 0.5%, it definitely gives you that rinse and repeat opportunity just given what the price action has done. So fantastic look here on META, but nothing as good as this look on Amazon. Right back above that 190, or sorry, excuse me, the 10 exponential again is below 194. We know that was a 194.17 HOD on the day, but there you go. It retraces, big red candle there, but the respect is just too plentiful, too strong today for AMZN Adara. It moves right back in, and it's now this time high, all-time highs. No question about that. That was 193.70. That was all-time highs. Now we have 194.17. Could be a different one by the end of the day because knocking on the door of 194 right now. Fantastic look today for anybody holding Amazon. There's no catalyst on this. There is really nothing. So, you know, make of that what you will. I'm happy I got out of this Apple short initially because look what it did. Bounced right back up. So even though this is still putting in lower highs, they're not that aggressive. And Apple is just so strong on the day that even the dips are getting bought up, right? Rosenblatt coming out with a new price target today for Apple, and that had everybody, you know, I guess buying or readjusting their positions. So we'll see exactly where Apple finishes on the day. If I have to take my guess, this retraces probably back down to 212 or so, somewhere around there. I'm personally of the opinion that Apple kind of hums and haws around this 200-ish, maybe to 220 for a while until we actually see what they're talking about materialize, where we're actually seeing people do demos online, not just videos of we're going to do this and we're going to do that and here's what we're doing. I mean, look, it is Apple. And they've always executed in the past. I mean, if you're familiar with Apple, you know that they are excellent at executing. But the market still has what?
Apple's Bret Hart.
Ah, the excellence of execution. Yes, man. Oh, my God. Shout out to Bret Hart, obviously, because he is Canadian. One of the best wrestlers, I guess, of all time. Jag doesn't know Bret Hart? Oh, Jag. Oh, Jag. No, Jag. Come on, Jag. Remember the Heart Foundation? Of course, the Katina man knows, man. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, that guy in his little goatee that he was always pulling at it. He was always pulling at his goatee. You don't know about Jim the Anvil Neidhart? Oh, Adara, we need to put videos coming up soon, but hope we'll probably get demonetized because all that stuff is copyright, right? Yeah. What's that, Katina man? Owen Hart, obviously a very tragic event there. We don't even want to talk about that, but yeah, that's a look. Adara, Google just broke down below the volume weighted average price for the first time on the day, essentially since the opening print when it retook VWAP. Now breaking down here, the lowest point it's been at since 10:05 today. Google obviously very strong lately. It printed all-time high yesterday, but today a bit of a, take profits or whatever it is because it's down 1/3%.
Yeah, Google tried to search for, I guess, another low there on GOGL.
There you go.
Let's see if it's a Gemini, part long, part short. I'm going to stop making Google puns and talk about Nvidia. I'm back to looking at the book on this one. Have to say I'm very proud. I had 3 successful long scalps, only 2 entries, so I got involved. Got out half the position at 87s. Then I said, I'll add if we get back to 80s. We did. We bounced. I got some of that. Got out half at 92, saved a piece for the dream. The dream did not come true. Got out at 84, took a cool 2 pennies on the rest of my position. But you know what? Profit is profit. I'm pleased as punch with the trading I've been doing today. And it really came from me just sitting and reflecting and realizing, you have to go at it super hard. As Sean said earlier today, each day is a new trading day. And I really use, again, I want to shout out everyone here because I know as well, we had Neil, on his lesson of the day saying sometimes you just have to, he said this to me a lot of the times as well, just sometimes if you don't take a trade, just watch what it did and say, what would you do if you were in this trade?
That's so true.
I've been doing that while I'm at the big desk and that's been really helpful. So yeah, because obviously I don't trade, but if I see something, if I pull it up while I'm looking at the markets and I see something that's interesting, I'm going to think about it. So interesting look there. Nvidia bouncing up here. I want to shout out Sharif for his awesome meta because meta's hard to trade as well. So yeah, you did not let meta get the beta of you.
No, and I didn't have a good entry.
That's true.
And I had an absolute crap entry. I wanted something in the 90s, 510 90s.
Yeah,
I ended up getting 511 17s, right? That's the nature of meta, though. So if you're not gonna be, accepting of those really bad spreads and bad entries, and just stay away from it.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out your trade on that.
Thank you. I do appreciate you, Adara. Shout out to Tam Panda talking about Dell, Ram, and he's got a good idea here. And I do like Tam Panda's idea. What Tam Panda was asking me, he's like, what do you think? Dell curl off the bottom, trade to VWAP. I like it, dude. In fact, look, I take my first beak wetter, my first profit taker at that 137.50, but I'd hold for 138. And the reason I do that, look at this area trough. This is the IB low. So I do respect VWAP, obviously, no disrespect for VWAP. I do like this area low better. Why? Because look how long we consolidated at that area before we flat bottom broke at 12 o'clock. So if we curl back up, wet your beak in front of VWAP, but really hold for that 138 and a quarter consolidation area low, I think you'll get it, but obviously not financial advice. I hope you print, goes without saying. That is my look on DELL, kind of a flip from support to resistance. We see that a lot, these sideways S's. Yeah, they're kind of like a sideways S, right?
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, an inverted sideways S. I don't even know what I'm saying there. That's a reach right there. That's a reach, says Ram. Thanks, Ram. Always admire your, what's it called? Motivation. That's the word I was looking for. There's a scene in Rocky where, have you watched Rocky before?
It's been a while.
Okay, so you know the characters of Rocky.
Yeah,
though.
like
so you know
Rocky.
Mickey, the trainer.
Yes.
So, needless to say, yes, Burgess Meredith, right, from Batman, he's the Penguin. Obviously, in the movie, he plays kind of an uneducated person, but who's an excellent boxing coach, right?
Yeah.
So his English, not, up to snuff. So what part in the movie that I really liked was when he says motivation, he pronounces it motivization. I can't tell you how many times my friends and I did that together, but you have no motivization, bro. Drop that weight. You know what I mean? So we'd always use motivization, and so I'm gonna start using it.
But he was motivized to say it, so that's what matters. Really though, because motivation is a huge part of trading as well. So I appreciate you saying that. there on that. Also, the reason we were doing the quacking is because Sharif will laugh. I'll always like.
No, we have to explain why.
Yeah.
We're just married to played the Penguin in TV Batman. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a huge fan of the TV Batman. Sharif, that's why we do same bat time, same bat channel.
There you go.
So that's a reference to.
Your dad likes it as well, no?
Pardon?
Your dad.
Oh yeah, my
Isn't he a
dad
big
got
fan?
me into it. He got like the giant box set of the '60s Batman when they came out for the 50th anniversary. Like he raised me on that. But anyways, shout out to him. But so basically, I'll walk by and I'll walk by at a very brisk pace by the green screen sometimes, and the Sharif and I will just go quack
Quack, quack, quack.
quack quack.
Adara, I want to mention one thing.
Please do.
Guys, I'm looking at shorting the dead one here if it comes into 214 Ram because we have this consolidation area bottom. You could say 214 to 214.10. It looks like a head and shoulders on the one. I don't want to place too much emphasis on chart patterns on the 1 minute chart, but what I'm seeing is an area of resistance, support may flip to resistance. We just popped into 214, high 90s and turned around. I'm going to sit probably at 214 and I'll look to defend into the quarter. If we move up here and reject 214, I'll even take it if it dips below 214, but that's what I'm looking for right now, and it's already 20 pennies below that entry. Okay, so we'll have to set something up here. I'm gonna sit 213.99s. Let's sit there for a possible short. If we get it, great. If we don't, we don't. But right now, it's coming into the $0.75. So it looks as if for the moment, a micro rejection on the 1 minute there on AAPL. Strong on the day, 2.25, but definitely we can play the intraday weakness and intraday strength. I also mentioned that goggles broke volume weighted average price for the first time on the day, and I was accurate in saying that. But what I wasn't accurate was in my implication that it would continue down, because this is one hell of a bottoming tail candle right there. That's how much worth? That's 54 down to 33, 20 pennies or so worth of bottoming tail, and then another green candle to reclaim VWAP and make a new high. So essentially, you know, a VWAP defend there, even though you probably got pushed out because of that bottoming tail. So goggles right back above the volume weighted average price again, still a lower high is on the day. I'm not going to say flat bottom break because we already got an attempt of that, but yeah, good recovery there for Google. Adara, about 15 minutes left on the show. What are you looking at?
Yeah, if you want to vote for tickers, guys, go in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Go in there, get your voice heard, because we believe in a democratic system. Whatever ticker you guys like, it does not matter. Hopefully it has custom volumes, we can talk about it, but exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker.
You know one thing we haven't done in a while?
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Love it. Subscribe, share. You should have done them with the orange glasses, Neil. I think that would have really added the extra.
Panache.
He wants to shoot another one. So do I.
I will say, my favorite part of yours is how you pop up out of nowhere.
Like
that
this?
is the
Subscribe,
and
share the show that takes you into my hair is far shorter, and my beard is ridiculously it's engulfing my face in that.
I just really do think, though, for me, what makes that is the popping up. It's the swooping
like a
up.
leprechaun that just comes from the abyss, rises from the abyss like a phoenix.
What?
I don't know, Adara. I'm just talking, saying words over here. Micro ejection, is that a real word? Says Jesse Munson. Jesse, I don't know if you're a newer viewer, but made up words absolutely have a home on this show anytime, anywhere. You let me know what it is, and we may or may not adopt it. Why are you looking so intently at that chart? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing AM disappointment, Sharif.
Oh.
Basically, no, I'm joking. I'll talk about it. No, it's okay. I was just being weird. So basically, AMD, don't know why I was trying to get, it would not fill me. I was trying to get out 95s. It would not fill me. I was like, guys, come on. So I ended up getting out like 10 pennies lower than I wanted to. To be clear, still up on the name, still up on the day. I actually, 4 stocks, proud to say I'm positive in all of them. So please just punch. And you know, that wasn't always the case. You have highs, you have lows, but you got to keep pushing. That's the whole point of trading. If you see stuff you like, go after it. Please just punch to say 97 fills today. So as a scalper, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
That's
definitely happy with that. Honestly, Monday, which was one of the worst days I've had in a while, I had like about half that many fills. Because when you're a scalper, you want to have a lot of fills. You want to have those ins and outs. So yeah, not like that's a metric that really matters, but I was proud of myself.
And I want to mention too, sorry to interrupt you, because people at home trade a little bit differently than us.
Yeah.
For us to get in to say like 100 shares of something, costs us 3 or 4 pennies.
Yeah, I should have clarified. The fees are different.
And you know, at home, if I was trying to do the same thing, it cost me about $1.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what we can do on this desk, right, is specific to us. I just wanted to mention that because some people may not know.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, it is a little bit easier to be a scalper from that perspective with that in mind. But yeah, I'm going to try to take another part.
That's the beauty about being here.
It's really cool, yes. So happy to be in this desk. Also, yeah, AMD clearly does not want me to get back involved here, so whatever, it's fine. I wanted the bounce. It gave me the bounce, not while I was in it, but it's all good. Going to see how Nvidia's doing. Yeah, nothing really going for me there. Tesla, I'm not going to get this bounce here into 194.80, but man, that looks tasty. Speaking of tasty, Apple. Apple, are you going to reject here? I'm going to see what it does at the 90 EMA. If it breaks below the 90 EMA, I will take that short. I would love to have a trade heading in to the last 15 minutes of the day, but I don't want to rush into anything either if I don't see anything I like. You only have 3 minutes left, though, to vote, guys. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever, tickers, your fancy.
Maybe they want to hear about Amazon making all-time highs. Maybe they want to hear about Google making all-time highs yesterday. Maybe they want to know why Snowflake is up 5%, having done nothing on the day, or no catalyst for it. Whatever you guys want to vote for, get into the chat, vote it now. The big kahunas are going to be locked, they're going to be loaded. They're going to be looking at the tickers that you select. And if they traded it, they'll tell you how they traded it. If they didn't, they'll tell you why or how they would have. So have your say every day on the afternoon rundown.
Yeah, we will. Thank you so much to Bears vs. Bulls. Shout out to everything you do. Bears vs. Bulls is over here.
Oh, yeah.
Putting in an example of how you can submit your ticker, which is like really good because we want to make sure everyone is voting appropriately, because much like actual voting, how there's certain ways you can and cannot fill out your ballot, we have the same way because that is just how it goes. Also, Tesla, I am feeling very tempted by this 194.80s bounce. Don't do this to me, Tesla. Don't do this to me. I think we're curling for a breakout above 195. I'd like to be a part of this breakout. Not gonna lie, I feel a little bit burned by AMD, which would have worked out. So, okay, AMD, do your thing, 21. But let's see here. Someone in the chat a while ago called AMD the Widowmaker, and I actually don't disagree with that because AMD can go awry so quickly and then act like it never did that thing that got you out of it. So let's see what happens here on Tesla. I'm looking at Meta, which is kind of chop and churn. And I want to shout out your trade on Meta once again. As Sharif said, if you're not comfortable with the whimsical nature of Meta, and that's putting it very, very kindly, it is spread F. We call it spread F for a reason. Meta is definitely one you have to be more comfortable with, or with how it moves, or you can't do it. Like I said, I only take Meta if there's something that's screaming at me. I'm just not comfortable with the way it trades, so I really want to shout you out for your awesome Meta trades. Hopefully you can take a bite out of that apple.
Did I tell you about my poser friend? He's such a shooter. It's so funny. So he got the Meta glasses.
Yeah.
But he wants everyone around him and on his social media to know he's got the Meta glasses. But taking a picture of a selfie is a little on the nose. Yeah. So he didn't want to do that. So what he did was he started videoing this vacation that he was on, and then he started videoing himself using the camera on his Meta glass. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, we know you got the glasses. Chill out. They're nice. You don't have to be such a shooter about it. Shout out to Ashley, my buddy. He always watches this show, by the way, and he's gonna give me some grief.
I'm gonna send you another video of the Meta glasses as like revenge. Like, if you have to watch this now for 4 hours.
Yeah, I know, right? Look, and it's actually good quality though. That's cool. What I gotta say. Yeah, cool. Decent quality there, but he's an interesting fellow. So shout out to him, guys. I think Adara was talking. Yeah, you were just talking about Tesla. Tesla is, for whatever reason, got this accumulation station in front of 195. What is going on here? A lot of topping tail candles. You can tell there's definitely a seller on the other side of 195 pushing this down, but I don't think this is going to hold. There it is. Higher lows is the most indicative of this. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that tug of war. Yeah. A little bit above, a little bit below. It's kind of like what we saw over here at 110 and 105. It goes into that 20 penny area, right back down to 195. So my guess is this ends up moving higher just owing to these higher lows over here, but you never really know with Stressla. But right back into that third of a dollar again. The Cybertruck about to break high a days, like 13 pennies from that 195.50. Wow, go Tesla. Okay, so decent look here. Here comes that 50 penny break, and there goes the 50 penny break. 57 is now HOD. Tesla really squeezing here. I don't know if the Katina man is still holding any of this, but if he is, he's going to be dancing up a storm when he gets back, because he's going to be another dollar in the money, because I think we're on our way to 196, or so it seems at the moment. You know, it was interesting looking at this, because, you know, you had a flat top for so long, essentially since we broke down below that 195 at 12 o'clock, but then you had some, you know, indicators, these topping tail candles, you know, rejecting, holding the 20, a higher low subsequent to that low. So great look here for Tesla. Again, there's really no catalyst. We're just making the assumption that it may be moving in sympathy with Rivian. That's just an assumption. That's all it is. Stifel did chime in on Tesla today with a price target upgrade, I believe, of 265. And I believe they maintained their buy. I don't know if they initiated. They said they initiated, so they weren't talking about it. So they didn't cover it before. It says Tesla initiated at buy by Stifel and 265. So fantastic. Yeah, I do see that day trader cut. Big volume spike there on the Cybertruck. Good look. About 500,000 shares on that 1 5-minute candle. Good look there. Haven't been that high since about midday, 11:50, when we had about 1.5 million shares done on that candle. But that was midday. Bit of a different story there. I've been sitting at 214 to short on Apple, none of which have come in. This was the closest we got. We got to 213.96. I sat there at 99s or 98s. I wanted to short this again. I see a bit of a top, a local top at around 214 on AAPL. I haven't been able to weasel my way into this, but yeah, that's the look there. That's what I see. Goggles also really did, did you dirty if you took that short there, unless you scalp super quick, because that bottoming tail candle and then bought up quick as you like right back into that local highs at 183. To go green, we just got to break above 184.01s or so. So we're not far away from that. Essentially flat on the day right now on goggles, but what a move up, what a move for Tesla, what a move for Amazon. And yeah, wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. Also, are you seeing any news on AMC? Because I couldn't find anything, but apparently AMC and G are really moving. So yeah, sometimes AMP and Gimme just decide to have their little bounces. They just
I'm looking. I don't see anything on AMC. Let me have a look at GME over here real quick. Nothing. I'm getting price spike updates. Could it have something to do with not GameStop, with Robinhood? No. Okay.
I don't think, well, because we just got the volume spikes now, right? So GME.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have anything.
I just accidentally looked up GM. So GM is actually a gorgeous range, but not what I meant to look at. It's also only a 15-penny range.
Yep.
So, but GME pushing up higher here, not anywhere near high of days. We would need to get to 25.15 to make a higher high here, but great look. This has actually been a nice little upward channel there for GME. So nice look there. I tried to take an Nvidia short. I tried to take an Nvidia short. We popped above 124. I got out. I think basically where I got out was the highest we've been, so that's annoying. But it's all good. Like I said, you have to try things or you don't know if they're going to work out. Like, right. So I would have rather tried, you know what I mean, than not tried. So please, this bunch. I'm not trying this again, though, because NVIDIA is a little too waffly for my taste right now. I want to wait and see. Also, I want to address AMD because someone in the chat, I think it was CompuCare team, said, why are you interested in the AMD long? Like, it's been pretty weak. AMD's been bouncing off 157. Now, that's interesting to me because A, it is the 9 EMA, but B, look at this 157 area earlier. Chop and churn, bounce, come here. We bounce, we flat bottom break, we come back, we test, we reject. This has been a support and resistance level on the 5-minute chart all day, which is why that 157 is interesting. Holding up pretty well, but also worth noting, I also scalp, obviously, so the moves are going to be a bit different. But that being said, the 157, when I look at this again, has held even more times than I realized when I first brought it up. So I think that 157 is a crazy level for me.
All right, I'm going short Apple here. It's going to have to do something super quick because I got to get up for the green screen. So we're going to put 214.07s as an out. We're not going to give this much room at all because, 214.07. Then you got to buy to cover, not sell to cover it there. That's not way to do it. So 214, and then we're gonna give it to like 11s or whatever. So short at 97, showing me 96, flat on the trade right now. It's really gonna have to, move super quickly off this level because I don't want to manage it while I'm at the big board. Where are we short? So let's go there and put a beak wetter there, see if we can get something with AAPL. Guys, Amazon, another day high. Wow, 194.48. This thing is just absolutely moving. 194.54, it just keeps printing higher and higher and higher. The buy programs are on in full effect on this one. If I do a 10, yeah, shout out to you, Neil. I would love to have that graphic on my end as well because that's exactly how this one is looking right now. All green all the time for AMZN on the day. What a move up there for them. All right, let's see if we can get anything here on AAPL to the short side before we get up. I'm sitting at 88s, thereabouts. If we reject that 214s and break into the low or the mid 80s, we'll print there. Showing 88s on the bid, but it's not crossing. So we'll I was going to say pack our patience, but then it moves up again. So we'll have to see. Anything you're looking at that you want to leave everybody off with before I go?
I do. Tesla. I was looking at that 195 bounce. I should have tried to take something here, but then again, I'm not really a huge breakout trader, so I'm not gonna, all I can do is, as Neil always says, how would you trade it if you were in it? Honestly, I probably would have gotten out at 18, so I can know that I would have taken like my 30 pennies. But it's a good example of just knowing what to do and wait. Then I saw this bounce here into 195. 10s, 20s, and that's also again another example of what would you do if you were in that trade. Probably get involved, risk into 195, take it up, right? So I think sometimes the trades you don't make are just as important as the ones you do. That's a huge thing I've learned. I have to say, today I did not take any trades that made me go, arr. I took trades I'm proud of, really happy. Not the best day I've ever had, but I really needed this. Coming back here, we love being the comeback kid here. We love being positive, having that positive mindset, and making trades that reflect that, and trades that I can not go about, because you don't want to be making that face at your own trading decision.
All right, I just want to give everybody a quick final thought before I go. Amazon day high right now, guys. Microsoft double bottom off VWAP. Keep your eye on that one. Google, absolutely great defensive VWAP, coming to go green above 184 right now. Keep your eye on that. I just covered my Apple short. Tesla, day high. It's an absolute monster. I hope you guys print, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes at the big screen.
Yeah, we will. Shout out to Sharif, who will be doing a lot of talking and moving around at the big screen there, at the green screen. Shout out to him. Also, I want to look at CCL here for incredible Mr. Lib. CCL keeps on pushing. Holy, yeah, I mean, wow, CCL. Talk about a double bottom at this 88.15, or sorry, if CCL was at 88.15, 18.15. Look at this bounce. First get it on a wick basis, then we get it again on a closing basis. Gorgeous look here, not once but twice. Then we bounce off 1835s, bounce slightly higher 1837s, continuing to push higher. Great look on CCL. Shout out to Spring. Oh, thank you, Spring, for gifting 10 memberships to Trader TV Live. Shout out to you, Spring, springing up for that support. So much appreciated. Also, Spring says they're printing on Amazon. So let's see if, yeah, shout out for you for getting that express delivery of profit. No, Sharif was on this one earlier today. Great look on Amazon. Upside, upside, upside. Much like CEL, we see a couple times the support here. And this actually, Amazon gives you a fake, what looks like might be a flat bottom break here at 190.60, then it bounces even higher. Great look. Aaron here mentioning the Qs, pushing, Aaron Scott Matthews, NQ broke VWAP. Indeed it did, and it did so with a viciousness. This one got bottom not once, not twice, but thrice here at 479, pushing higher, pushing into that 480 area on the triple Qs, the QQQs. So great look here for the market. Let's see. I think pushing above VWAP is always a great look, especially when you had a test, a fail, and then a nice breakout, much like Tesla, which took a while to have that breakout. We're seeing the same thing on the Qs. 30 seconds left here. Hope you guys had a great day. Day Trader Cut saying my name is green like my P&L on the day. Shout out to you, Day Trader Cut. So happy to hear it. I think this has been a really great day in terms of the market giving you stuff to do. We had the Nvidia shareholder meeting. We had Nvidia at lots of levels. Tesla with that breakup. Tesla getting near that 196. Amazon pushing higher. It's been such an exciting day. We're going to have to wait and see what happens, though, tomorrow. See you guys then. It's going to be the same bat time, same bat channel for more ATR lessons. For now, though, we have Sharif at the green screen.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, guys, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. We got Neil and Sean. They're ready to go. They're ready to look at the tickers that you voted for.